All right, now that this thing's on.
DSP.
Guys, I don't really understand why Darkseid feels like hated as much as he is. I don't get it. Now, I covered this topic before in a stream a long time ago called Freak Show. It's been a while. Okay, I really don't remember much about his history. This is going to be like a refresher course. I'm going to watch some videos, go over a timeline of events, and ask the question, is Darkseid feel really as evil or as bad as they say? Well, to answer that question, how bad are they saying he is? Well, some are saying that he's like the worst person. Okay? Some are saying that he's like deserving of all, like, I guess the treatment that he gets, I suppose. I mean, that's what they're saying. They're saying he's racist. They're saying he's a transphobe. They're saying he's, just that he's like the worst person. It's human garbage. And I'm like, okay. Wait, hold on. But I hear that. I'm like, wait, hold on. Compared to what though? Compared to who? All right. Because if you compare Darkseid Phil with like Ethan Ralph, they're not even on the same level. Okay. Like, if we're gonna have to list the sins that they have to atone for, Darkseid Phil got fourth place in a championship of a game, of a bad port of a game or something like that. He got fourth place, claims he got first place. Oh, but he's very particular about that. So technically, it's true. Darkseid Phil, I want to watch this. I'm starting with Turkey Tom. Is this where I should start? I don't really know.
Darkseid Phil is proof that you can make a living as a professional gamer, even if you're awful at gaming. But that's far from the only thing he's awful at. From constantly failing to deliver on promises made to his audience, to outright treating them like trash.
So I've had enough excuse.
Okay. So he treats his audience like trash. Okay. All right. Well, if you don't want to be part of his audience, then don't be part of his audience. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. That's pretty average as far as like bad things you could do. That's not the worst thing you could do. All right. Like, I guess it's because I'm jaded because I followed people like Ethan Ralph who are pretty bad. Okay. You know, I'm sorry. Has Darkseid Phil ever released revenge porn? Has he? I don't know anything about that. I don't think so. As far as I know, Darkseid Phil actually is still married. It is married. I don't even know if he has a kid. I don't anything, and I don't even care. But I know he's still married. Anyway.
Excuses. It just seems to me like people are fucking lazy and don't want to come out to the streams.
All while begging them to pay his bills.
With the taxes coming up in April and everything, there's...
What streamer doesn't beg for people to pay their bills? What? You show me a streamer on YouTube, they have a thing where they're asking for money. What do they do with that money? Maybe some of it goes to food, some of it goes to weed, some of it goes to bills. Okay.
There's going to probably be times where
I don't want to be a DSP ball washer, but I'm just saying, man, like some of this stuff is like already, It's like, well, that could apply to anybody.
I'm gonna have to appeal to you guys again to try to save my butt.
If spitting on a plate you ate from was an Olympic sport, Phil would be a gold medalist, though he would probably sell the gold medal.
No, what? So would Twitch streamers, like Twitch dot streamers. Who was that girl? That Twitch female streamer that like was all like, oh, it was like years ago. She was like, how come you guys aren't donating to me? You're like literally poor or stuff like that. Like you get that treatment. Wait, there's a whole like meta on Twitch that involves pretty much psychosocial, parasocial relationships, okay, between women and men, are women and boys, simps, okay, and you're telling me that's not toxic? You tell me that's not, dude? Like, hey, so far everything that even Turkey Tom said here, like it could apply to any other streamer and probably even be worse. I'm just saying there.
Medal to finance his tax problems and feed his mobile game addiction. This is the 2-decade spanning story of the self-proclaimed king of hate, Dark Side Phil.
Okay.
Born on April 6, 1982, Philip Paul Burnell grew up on the outskirts of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Quite opposite to his life after becoming an online personality, very little of his early years have been documented. One of the very few stories that has stood the test of time is that of a young Phil going to a comic book store with his parents and asking them for a rare $25 Wolverine toy for his birthday, claiming that he never asked them for stuff, which, given the behavior pattern we later come to know as Phil's MO, it's very unlikely this is the case. When they
I like when he said there, Tree Master Dog. That's true. Tree Master Dog. Tree Master Bob. Hey, how come I don't see your chat in my chat? What? I don't see your chat in my chat. I see your chat on the screen, but not in the chat. It's so weird. Oh, maybe it's live chat. Oh, that's why. That's not even that bad. That's just truth. YouTube. Google is sweeping for Ricada. Look, it was trying to protect Ricada. This is hurt feelings. DSP takes better care of his effing cat than Ricada does his kids. True. We're going to go ahead and skip that ad. Get cozy, guys. Get us stogie. Get something to drink. I'm going through this Dark Side Phil documentary. Turkey Tom. Okay. Gotta remind myself about Dark Side Phil and why he's so evil, why he's bad. The #1 bad hombre. Okay. So far, everything Tom said could apply to just about any other streamer. Spits on his audience. Okay. All right, spits on his audience, treat his audience like pay pigs, like ATMs. Wait, that's what streaming is. That's what they do. Okay, all right.
They take too long to buy it, and the store runs out of stock for that particular toy. He berates them, and seeing how amped he still gets when retelling the story, it seems he still resents them for this.
So my birthday came and passed, and guess what? My parents go, "We're very sorry, Philip, but we couldn't find the action figure." I said, "I told you to buy the figure. Why don't you listen to me?"
If we can take his word for
Here's Turkey Tom is just making fun of his childhood trauma of not getting the right toy. I mean, sometimes our parents are idiots and they don't get us the right freaking toy. Sometimes it's like, Mom, I did not ask for this. I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, I asked for magic cards, not a deck of playing cards for magic tricks. I asked for Magic the Gathering cards. You son of a bitch. True statement. True statement. That's real. That was a sad Christmas. I was like, oh, what the fuck? He was like, oh, here's those magic cards you wanted. I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? Anyway, let's go back.
Find the action figure. I said, "I told you to buy the figure. Why don't you listen to me?
If we can take his word for it, he graduated from Catholic school, St. Ambrose, in 2000 as the valedictorian of his class before going on to study business at Fairfield University. But before studying business, DSP was already getting busy in the competitive fighting game scene, with a particular interest in Capcom's Street Fighter series. In the 90s, he actually traveled across the United States to attend tournaments. Mind you, this is at a time when gaming was still seen as somewhat of a loser thing to be engaged in, so to be dedicated to it as much as he was pretty rare. However, this dedication didn't manifest in exclusively positive ways. Phil often lost his temper and was a generally toxic player, which turned many of the other—
A toxic player in the fighting game scene? Fighting games. You're telling me there weren't other players back in the day saying mean things and stuff? Dude, we have those videos too. We have those videos. Okay. Those clips. All right. Which kind of when you watch it, it's like, okay. It kind of sounds, some people were like pissed off that he got that he got fourth place. I'm like, he got fourth place at a version of Street Fighter whatever crap that's just for the ports, right? That was kind of bugged and broken. Okay. Well, it kicked a lot of people's asses that day. And people were like, oh, no, man, it's the gaming mechanics. But, okay. I mean, he was playing the same game they were playing. Let's get this. It's Turkey Thomas. I mean, I think when Turkey Tom wrote this, he wrote this to appeal to the detractors. All right. Let's check this out.
And we caught him outside.
In this video, we're going to get a little bit into that time. Okay, I'm not sure if Turkey Tom's really going to give us the whole thing there. We'll watch this one for sure.
And I'm there with my freaking JVC kaboom box and shit, 'cause that's how I rolled and stuff. And I was with a couple of my fucking boys, and they were getting up in, like, you know, DSP's fucking friends' faces too, just to fucking make sure none of them got crazy. But they were all fucking shitting bricks. Fucking getting up in his face, asking why the fuck he's talking shit and what the fuck's his problem.
Okay. So this is another fighting. There's another guy, another player in the fighting game community, okay? You hear the way he's talking. You tell me he's not a toxic player? How's he not a toxic player?
He's fucking just, you know, just fucking cowering and all fucking scared. And him and his friends are trying to fucking leave, and we're not letting them. And then, you know, I pretty much, to make a long story short, I pretty much just fucking told him, hey, you fucking lost one match. You're going to fucking pay him fucking $10 or fucking $20, because that's the percentage of fucking the matches that he would have fucking lost. Which and fucking, you know, just scared fucking him shitless until he fucking, you know, he paid the fucking like $10 or whatever to fucking.
Well, I mean, if you lost, you got to pay. Darkside Phil, you lost, you got to pay.
Then we let him fucking leave, and then he fucking got the fuck out of there.
Okay, so these guys are playing money games. It's pretty intense, very competitive. Yeah, okay. Seems like it would be toxic all the way around. All right. It sounds like you're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get a lot of people who don't really want to pay up because of bullshit. You know how it is. Anytime you play a game with anybody, when money's on the line, there's always some bullshit.
With the quickness, you know, he just turns fucking white, and it's funny because he just like talks so much shit on the internet, but when you run into him in fucking person, he's just fucking, you know, turns white as a ghost.
Right. Other members of the fighting game community would also hear about this incident. Another one, Justin Wong, would also recount this.
Because what DSP does, like in person he's all nice to me and shit, but and then when he makes a YouTube video, he thinks he's all hard and crap. So that's what gets me pissed off. Like, do you guys remember the whole thing with DSP and like with the West Coast people, where they almost like he was like really scared because he was.
These guys act all tough and badass because they're good at a fighting game. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is actually kind of cringe. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Bro, I'm the best. It's a fighting. Street Fighter, yeah. It's like, okay, bro.
About to get beat up.
He was about to get roughed up. Yeah, I remember that in San Diego.
I think Jaha approached him at EVO or something, right?
EVO West was at the San Diego event. Yeah, I think like Jaha and like Watson were like looking for him if he ever came down to one of the Evo events or something.
Yeah, so like he was like, I heard he was like crying and everything. So that was pretty.
Surprise, surprise. Darkside Phil acts tough on the internet, but in real life he doesn't. That's the internet for you. Okay, so that's not like anything new. Holy shit!
Funny.
With the King of Hate's hate leaking into real life as he attended tournaments, DSP would embrace it and make Darkside Phil a brand of hate.
We got the man of all hate, the one and only DSP. Darkside Phil. I call him Phil, because Phil's cool.
You know, everyone says that I'm a big hater, but I only hate on people because they hate on me first. So everything that I say on the internet may be in good fun, but it's just in reaction to all the other bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. We'll see today what really happens when Valle and Choi play me on an arcade cabinet and see what new excuse they can think up.
There you go. You heard it from DSP. Straight from DSP. DSP, thank you. Check out the shirt.
Hate this, bitch.
Okay.
Hate that.
In 2003, Darkside Phil would create his own website called Top Haters, where he would...
Okay, let's hear the Turkey Tom version. All right.
Other attendees of the tournaments he participated in against him.
Now, when I go to these tournaments, I say, hey, guess what? Such and such, I've known you for 10 years. Get the fuck off this station because I want to play the game. And usually, when you threaten them like that, they get the fuck up because none of them want to fight. None of them want to step outside and get their ass.
All right, so we got Darkside Phil throwing his weight around in a video game. Yeah, do that until you get... You're done. You're done with this game. Are you serious? Guys, first off, I don't actually believe what Darkside Phil was saying here. It's kind of funny how people be like, oh, believe in one moment, don't believe in the next moment. But like, okay, he's going around telling people that they need to get up, they need to move, otherwise, like, he's going to punch them, or there's an implication that there's going to be a fight. Okay. All right, man. I think he's just talking shit. He's just talking shit. Talking shit on the internet. Just about everyone on the internet's guilty of that, huh?
Get the fuck off this station because I want to play the game. And usually, when you threaten them like that, they get the fuck up because none of them want to fight. None of them want to step outside and get their ass beat.
What's worse is that for many years, despite his dedication to the point of toxicity, he consistently lost every single tournament he was in.
For a while, that was true. I was one of the biggest shit talkers in the Street Fighter community. And I would go to tournaments and I would lose. And that's embarrassing.
As he tells the story, when he finally turned this around and started winning, it was to the general chagrin of everyone involved, which earned him the title of the King of Hate, because everyone hated him. The competitive fighting game community by 2005 had largely made the transition from the use of arcade cabinets to console ports. EVO 2005, however, proved to be a bump in the middle of that transition. A PlayStation port of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was particularly divisive in the fighting game community, with various bugs and technical details that would mar its reputation.
Hey, it was a bad port. I think we could all agree. But, hey, they chose to play on that.
The port fell so far short of minimum expectations due to the differences in this particular port that, as a result, various high-level players would end up boycotting the event in protest to its use. While they went high, however...
Oh, they raged. They didn't even want to do it, huh? But the ones that did, how'd they do against Darkside Phil? Okay, how'd they do?
Phil went low. On his credit score, to be more specific. In perhaps the earliest manifestation of his ability to handle his finances in anything resembling a mature way, a 23-year-old Phil was living in a 3-bedroom apartment he knew he was going to move out of within
Okay, so now we're going to... Are we really doing this? This is part of the segment here? Darkside Phil is horrible with his credit and his finances. That's like... Honestly, guys, if you're being honest about your finances, about your credit, how is it? How are you doing? Especially right now, how are you doing? Right? Maybe you kind of like have an effort mentality and you just gave up and just charge everything. That's not me yet. I'm still maintaining. But okay, keep this in perspective of other YouTubers and Twitch streamers that have bad finances. Yeah, I mean, they are making a living streaming. That's their income. That has to be hard to live off of. It's in flux. It's not steady. It's not the same rate every time. You don't know what the future really holds. There's no real longevity. It's living off on a prayer. Yeah. Yeah. And he has bad credit. Shit. Okay. Does that make him black enough to say nigger? Oh, whoa. Does it? He has bad credit. He has bad credit. Hating on the guy for having bad credit. Okay. Sound like a bunch of naggers just nagging on him. Okay. Like at the end of the day, it's just some guy. It's just some guy who plays games for a living. All right. That's how I look at this so far. But let me watch the rest of this.
A year. In the meantime, he had no idea how he was going to pay his bills, let alone find and pay for another place to live in. With his only job prospect being an entry-level position at a Best Buy, Phil applied his business diploma to the best of his abilities. Instead of buckling up and being frugal, hoping to scrape by until his conditions improved, he decided to take cash advances on every single one of his credit cards, which ended up being about $3.
Okay, very poor choices are being made here. It sounds like choices... Wait, are we talking about Gothic King Cobra or Dark Side Phil? Like, they're sounding about the same person right now.
$3,000 so that he could travel to and attend EVO. This decision mangled him financially so bad that he spent the next 5 years only managing to pay off the interest. Was it worth it?
Well, look at Dark Side Phil. He's so stupid with his money. He's taking cash advances there for Street Fighter tournaments. Never mind, dude. Okay, let me tell you something. Some of the detractors, some of the haters of Darkside Phil, I guarantee you they splurged their money on fucking anime and video games on credit. Okay? What the fuck are we talking about? Okay? Turkey Tom might be doing fine. I mean, YouTube's an ATM for him right now. That's fine. But, like, is this the crime that I'm supposed to be mad about? Is this the reason why I'm supposed to be very pissed off at Darkside Phil and hate him? Because he has shit credit that makes stupid loans? Was good at a Street Fighter 2 port that was shit? I hope we get better than this, because right now I'm just like, I want to whip out my dick and piss on all the detractors, because, like, what the fuck you on about? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like you are the ones that are, like, wasting your time. You're wasting your time watching someone you fucking hate. And what he's doing is, like, not even nefarious. What are we doing? Doesn't even border on it. What the fuck are we talking about? It's insanity. All right. But maybe something happens, right? I think there's something about Panda Lee. Maybe we get to that.
He placed not third, not second, not first, but fourth in the tournament. However, since the top 3 players were all Japanese, Phil rearranged this win to mean he was the best American player. Exclusive.
Oh, he was the best American player right there. That's what I see. That is technically true. How is that not technically and literally true? He's the best American player at that tournament.
Because it has a nicer ring to it, since there's no real reason to separate players based on their nationality.
It does it right there, you fucking dumbass! Turkey Tom, it's right there in the goddamn fucking thing. What the fuck are you talking about? You got Japanese flags for a very specific reason. Because they're in the land of Japanese. They're from the land of Japanese, you cocksucker! What the fuck? There's no real reason to separate them. Well, the tournament thought there was a reason. God damn. What the fuck? But there's no real reason to separate them like that. It's to hype it up. Did he get first place? No, he didn't get first place. But he hypes up the story, so he makes it a tall tale. Is that the crime? Is that why I'm supposed to hate Darkseid Phil? Huh? Is that why I'm like supposed to be like Darkseid Phil's the worst person ever? Because he boasts his winnings? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, he lies about his winnings. What was the fucking lie? Out of that tournament, out of that competition, right there, right fucking there, he's the best American there. These flags there, are those American flags? Are they they look like pads. Huh? They look like period pads. Look at that. What is that? That's a Japanese flag, okay? What the fuck? But I did not think it was going to react like this. Can we get another like here for the passion? Like, I honestly, in the beginning of this, I did not care. Part of me still does not care because he's just some internet fucking guy. But at the same time, you have people who built a whole fucking community of hate watching this guy over stupid fucking shit. Okay? What the fuck? Ethan Ralph had some real fucking skeletons in his goddamn closet. Ethan Ralph did some real fucking gangster shit. Gangster shit. Hey, I tell you what, man. The Darkseid Phil detractor community has nothing. They're a bunch of weak, spineless losers. Okay? Look, man, what I'm saying is... Okay, gotta be careful. And I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Look, we can say obsess over this guy. I think he's the worst thing ever when his stuff, even his worst, I guarantee you, doesn't even come close to the stuff that we have seen through like the Ethan Ralph verse and the Nick Rekieta stuff. Like it, even the Boogie stuff. Like everything we have seen lately on YouTube and Twitch, like those guys, even Dr. Disrespect, they make Darkseid Phil look better. Especially when there's a whole fucking community. There's like an economy around just hating this guy. I would have a better stream, probably get better likes, and maybe actually make money. Maybe if I just joined in on the party. All right. I'm going to press the play button. And maybe I'll be convinced.
This gets even sillier when you consider that he's acting like this tournament somehow represented the entire country, which instantly falls on its face when you take into account the fact that many American players didn't participate due to their issues with the port. Other people in the community...
It's just a fucking boast, dude. It doesn't mean any fucking shit.
Community picked up on DSP, and they didn't take his comments about this event very kindly.
That's the answer I was looking for. You got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on.
Oh, but he's not a toxic player either. Oh yeah, that one guy's a piece of shit. You know?
YouTube.
I mean, he probably is a piece of shit. I don't know.
But this guy thought he was hot because he beat me and Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude.
Oh, you're blaming the game mechanics.
This may seem like a minor issue, but it's less
Dude,
about...
that's what it comes off. It comes off salty. Okay, I get they lost in a bad port. All right, that sucks. But technically, he beat you. No, not technically. He literally beat you. He literally beat you. And you were like, oh, I hate that guy. He's a piece of shit. He talks shit, all that stuff. It's like, okay, you're playing fighting games. None of you guys are not talking shit. There's no fucking way. Shut the fuck up. You guys are all talking shit. You tell me it's not? If it's anything like the FPS, like Halo and Call of Duty stuff, especially back then, oh man, they're throwing gamer words left and right. Gay this, gay that.
the tournament itself and more about how Phil himself behaved afterwards. In later videos, he belittles the other players' issues with the port, saying that they shouldn't have expected arcade-like gameplay from a console, and instead should have practiced more.
Instead of about it, which is what it seemed all the OGs were doing, we'll just play the game and learn the differences so we know for the tournament.
Being a sore loser is bad, but not content with just that, Phil managed to also be a sore winner, because even after he started winning tournaments here and there, he continued to make everyone around him dislike him by behaving like a buffoon for no reason. While there is a video of Phil doing things like
How was he a sore winner? He was boasting about it. He was bragging about it. That's what you do when you fucking win. Okay. All right. So any streamer you watch that hypes themselves or boasts themselves, talks in favor of themselves, maybe exaggerates their story, when they win in a game, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why I'm supposed to hate this guy.
And obnoxiously talking over people he was playing with, it seems he was self-conscious enough to keep the more egregious displays of his lack of self-control and respect for others to behind the scenes. In one instance, in 2002, he pushed the limits so much that, while he was leaving the place he was playing at, him and his friends were followed by the friend group of someone he'd recently lost to, who proceeded to compel him to pay a nominal amount of money for being a general nuisance. According to Justin Wong, another avid Street Fighter player whom DSP had beat before, he had the tendency of being nice to him in person and saying terrible things about him when he wasn't around. However, the most detailed account of why exactly DSP had such a terrible reputation in the community came from another fellow Street Fighter player, Viscant. His Reddit post reads as follows. This would have been either EVO 2005.
So far, right now, all this stuff, do not care. Dude, like, if it was like, oh, he lost, he didn't want to pay,
or
all this
EVO
stuff,
2006.
like, all right.
Phil had been talking trash for weeks/months before I finally got sick of it. I'm pretty sure I challenged him to a money match and knew he wasn't going to accept and was going to be like, lol, fight me IRL at EVO, and I accepted. From here, it turns into what sounds like a total farce, except I can assure you that it was 100% serious, which makes us both look like total, complete idiots. So first, Phil was like, okay, well, you have to sign some document because if I kill you, I don't want to be responsible. And I was like, whatever. Then there was an actual serious negotiation over who the ref was going to be, but I don't remember this part either. Then there was an honest-to-God negotiation over weight and that we were going to have to weigh in and everything. Again, I'm not...
All right, let me get this straight. There was some sort of interaction going on back in the day. It got heated. This happened, I guess, numerous times, whatever. It got heated to the point to where we wanted to do an IRL fight, where they were negotiating the ref going to be... Guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to say this again. The detractor community, what the fuck are you doing? Like, have you not heard of like the kill stream and things like that? Or like there's various podcasts, various streaming area, I guess, communities you could say, that at times do the whole IRL fight in real life stuff, and they try to negotiate for I guess refs and places and stuff. Like this isn't anything to hate on someone for. It's actually something to kind of like actually get kind of hyped up for. Be like, all right, let's do it, brother. Let's do a fucking fight. I mean, okay, we got what I'm hearing here. It sounds like you got you got Dark Side wanting to fight someone in real life back in the day. Okay, all right. Well, did he take the offer?
Not making any of this up. As dumb as this sounds, this absolutely happened. Finally, it was agreed that he wouldn't have to go on a diet to fight me, and it was settled that we were going to fight. It was going to have MMA rules. It would have a referee, and we'd sign waivers. I was dumb in the mid-2000s. Anyway, so we agreed upon this early in the year, and from here on is where the story gets weird. So apparently Phil was under the impression that this wasn't going to happen, and that this was just internet shit.
We signed. We even agreed, but it wasn't really going to happen. Oh, no shit. You tell me Phil wasn't actually serious? That Phil was like in the heat of the moment, just pissed off, was talking mad shit, and they try to back out like a lot of fucking people do, like a lot of losers do? Yeah, it's loser shit. Loser shit. Yeah, that shit happens. Fuck. But like, I don't know. I don't know how that spurs a whole community of detractors. It must be something else. It can't be that.
shit talk, but a few people from the West Coast went out to one of the East Coast tournaments and told him that I was taking this seriously and was going to fight him, and had probably been in more gym fights in the past 2 months than he'd been in his life. So one day, Phil instant messages me on AIM and tries to...
Dude, this just sounds like a dick contest here. I don't give a shit.
Back out. He was like, hey, so how about this? How about we pretend like we're going to fight, and then when a whole crowd is around us, we both do DX cross chops to the crowd. It'll be such a goof. This really happened, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I honestly couldn't believe he was pulling this, and I was still mad about the whole thing, and actually wanted to fight him. I told him I wasn't going to do any of that trolling, but if you want to drop it, then fine, I'll drop it. We can both be adults about this. And that's pretty much what happened. I'm not going to jump him from behind in the parking lot or get in his face and threaten him. From that point on, there never really was any problem between him and I. In fact, the next year when Evo West was in San Diego, I let him stay at my place that year. And when Mike Watson...
Okay. All right. Oh, we're kind of friends now. He stayed at my place. Oh my God, guys. Please tell me it gets worse, because so far this is like pathetic stuff of reasons why I'm supposed to hate this guy. Like reasons why he's as bad as they say he is. Like, he literally had a guy named Boogie who faked having fucking cancer. Okay? All right? And he doesn't have the hate, nowhere near the amount of the size of the hate community that Darkside Phil has. Which is odd, because Boogie's bigger. You would think by gravity alone.
and Jaha were about to kill him in a parking garage. I stepped between them and defused that situation.
Hey, how's it going, McNur? Can we get some likes here? I'm sure we're going to get a lot of dislikes for her. Just speaking the honest truth about the detractors, okay? Not being a ball washer, you could say you're washing his balls, you're glazing them. That's because a lot of you guys, so far what I see, just hate him for petty reasons, for stupid reasons. Reasons that, like, any normal person would be like, who cares? Like, okay. He's bad at video games. Oh, I mean, just laugh at him. I mean, whatever. But some people like want to like some people really, really hate him. And it's like, okay, bro, you need to chill out, man.
He later would go on to have more serious problems with Watson and Jaha, but I made sure it wasn't going to happen when he was staying with me. I generally don't hold grudges, so even though I remember being really pissed off at the time, by the time the parking garage thing happened a year later, I was over it. The parking garage situation Viskin is referring to is the aforementioned shakedown, but enemies weren't the only thing Phil made in his time as a competitive Street Fighter player. He also made some friends, however unlikely that may seem, and they went on to collaborate with him in the future. One such acquaintance was Mr. John Rambo, who sought Phil out after his victory at EVO because he wanted to get better at Super Street Fighter Turbo. He'll come up again later, so keep that guy in your mind. Despite his infamy in localized gaming communities IRL, Phil found a way to circumvent this by tapping into the realm of online gaming. Even if word got around about his excesses at the competitions, it wouldn't be enough to prevent him from making a name for himself based exclusively on what he chose to put up online. He created a YouTube channel in 2007 where he uploaded random vlogs related to his interest in competitive gaming. But in 2008,
oh, can you also give him the credit for like starting the Let's Play stuff? I mean, he was doing that stuff, right? He would put game footage. I mean, you got to admit, he was like one of the early guys doing it. I don't know if he was the first guy doing it, but he was definitely one of the originals.
He slowly transitioned the channel into a rudimentary proto Let's Play channel, though instead of having the screen captured directly while he played it.
Oh, Darkside Phil, if he joined Straight Camp, he would definitely be, you know what, he might actually be a coach. Yeah, he would be a coach, for sure. I mean, he's married. He's definitely totally straight. Okay? He's super straight.
He recorded it with a separate device, meaning he pointed the camera at the TV, basically. At the time, Phil lived with his parents and saw content creation as a pastime rather than a job. Not that content creation was much of a job option in the Jurassic period, which was YouTube prior to the 2010s, but even still, he was somewhat realistic about his expectations. Still, that didn't stop Phil from taking inspiration from one of the early internet's most adored legends, Angry Video Game Nerd.
Now, as I was a Street Fighter player...
Yeah, and that's dude... AVGN inspired a lot of us to make content, even myself, though I went nowhere with it. Not that I am somewhere now with this stuff, but that's a side story and a Debbie Downer. Anyway, But yeah, AVGN has influenced a lot of us. How's that a bad thing? I don't think that's a bad thing. We'll get to it.
I used to travel with a group of friends, and it was actually in a hotel room at a Street Fighter tournament where we were just hanging out and having fun. And one of my friends said, "Did you ever see this guy called the Angry Video Game Nerd?" I was like, "No, I don't know who that is." And, you know, and they showed me a video of this guy who looked like very much dressed up like a nerd, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a nerd.
He had
Yeah.
a button-down white kind of shirt, thick glasses, right? Even talked kind of a little bit high-pitched or whatever.
Looks a little retarded, and later you find out. Hey, I actually like AVG and that stuff, even still now. I know it may not be the same quality. I don't care. I'm just glad it's still around. I was going to say, I think he has a book, a self-published book. I think James Rolfe might actually be a little retarded. Like literally there, which helps the character. Oh, I think the correct term is IDD.
And here he is, ranting at a video game, making funny lines, talking over the top, swearing like a sailor. Hilarious. No production values, no budget to it, just him and a camera making fun of a video game.
Like he said, no production value, which if you ever watch one of the AVGN documentaries, they try to go into it as if there was production value.
Get what he's saying. There is a kind of purity and earnestness to early YouTube Kino, and I use that word loosely because I'm pretty sure AVGN was on another site before he was on YouTube, but I digress. I think Phil took the no production value part.
He was on YouTube, and then he went on Screw Attack. But then he went back to YouTube.
A little too seriously. He took pride in posting playthroughs in bulk, with several hours of video dedicated to each game with absolutely no editing involved. On this decrepit, old, and abandoned channel, there are over 7,000 videos, because back then, you couldn't upload very long videos, compelling Phil to split them up into dozens, if not hundreds of individual 10-minute clips. Again,
I'm seeing 3,000, 6,000.
Remind you, we're not talking about Bandicam or unregistered Hypercam here. We're talking about actual camera footage with built-in microphone audio capturing all of it, completely raw, untreated, unedited whatsoever. Unsurprisingly, the channel didn't exactly blow up overnight.
Okay, one thing Turkey Tom is not putting in perspective here is that like a lot of people kind of doing that, right? I think the capture card stuff, it was very raw back then. Like when it first started, holy shit, dude! He just put in a webcam, just a camera to the screen. It was rough, man.
Surprisingly, Phil is proud that he spent 3 years of his life doing this for no money and actively derided other content creators who only started doing gaming videos after they began being monetized on the platform. Mind you, this man is 28 years old and living with his parents, and somehow he thinks it's a merit that he makes no money out of playing video.
Well, he's not living with his parents. How old is this? 9 months? Is Darkside Phil living with his parents? I thought he lived I thought he had an apartment. Because his wife lives with him. And how would she not live with him? Something's not right here. Meaning to tell me he still lives with his parents. I don't know about that. I don't really believe that. And also, it doesn't care as to why I would hate him. Okay. Put this in perspective. Living at your parents' house still in your 30s and 40s is a bit embarrassing. It is. Also, though, things are kind of rough right now. So maybe someone's trying to save some money. Oh. Is he cleaning the house? Is it in squalor? I mean, yeah. He lives in a gated community. I mean, I don't know where he lives. I don't think it's at his parents' house. Okay. I've watched Turkey Tom's documentaries in the past, and I just took them at face value. I have not questioned it like this one. Are they all like this now? Because this seems like it's from the perspective of detractor, like he already made up his mind. Like it's weird. No, it's not weird. It's clearly there was like a narrative already. Dude, I'm just approaching this like you convinced me. You tell me. Why is Dr. Phil? Why is Darkseid Phil as bad as they say he is? And I'm using Turkey Tom to try to convince me.
Video games alone with no one watching. On top of that, he brags about the passion and effort he put into the videos and his larger upload volume compared to these other, much more successful creators, when in reality, he just has the most videos precisely because of how awfully low effort they are. It's a perfect example of quantity over quality. Once again,
is it working? It seems to be working for him.
It's not what DSP is doing that's the issue, it's that he brags about it in a really...
Are we supposed to hate him because of lack of quality? I don't really care. I don't care.
Rating way while putting others down. Oddly enough, Phil's first conflict with someone
videos
else to be documented online. It wasn't a result of him disrespecting other YouTubers for trying to make money off of their content. Instead, it was during a recording of his playthrough of Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions when he was making too much of a racket, and his neighbor decided to interject. Being the good Samaritan he is, Phil took his neighbor's advice. As it turns out, however, his neighbor wasn't the only person getting annoyed at Phil. The running joke surrounding DSP's online presence actually had a running start.
He does have a house because he talks about his mortgage, and the detractors would be like, he has to pay his mortgage and all this stuff. He doesn't live with his parents.
Already going on before he had enough detractors, and people in general, seeing his content in order to pick up on it. Though if you are to go back and look at these older uploads, you can catch them in the wild. For example, Phil claimed he suffered from a chronic nasal drip, and because of this, he also chronically snorted loudly into the microphone. Later on, in part due to his tendency to ask for money, this take of Phil's got him compared to pigs many, many times.
That's how kings breathe.
Another focal point for his haters was his loudness, which his neighbor can corroborate, but specifically...
Okay, so he's loud and he makes an annoying sound with his nose. All right. Keep track of the reasons why why Darkseid Phil is as bad as they say he is. Okay, keep track of those reasons.
His laugh, lovingly dubbed the seal laugh due to its ASMR tier exquisite sound design. But let's be fair here, regardless of how entertaining or irritating these may be, they're most likely done unconsciously by Phil. This is just how he is, he had no choice. However, what he has chosen is to be the real-life incarnation of a character from South Park, as he made a series of videos dedicated exclusively to cataloging his funniest racist remarks.
Back 4 years ago? Wait, this is supposed to be a bad thing? Of 2010? Racist remarks in 2010. Funniest racist remarks. Funny racist jokes. I mean, racism can be funny. It can. I mean, there's comedians. There's people all the time who make like memes and make little remarks. They're kind of funny, and they do that stuff. Okay, like but we're supposed to be butthurt about this. Oh, we're supposed to be mad about this. Guys, back in 2010, Darkseid Phil. I know it's hard to believe. It's hard to imagine. He's making anti-Jewish jokes. Was he throwing the N-word around? Huh? Are we going to hear these things, Turkey Tom? I want to hear them. I want to hear them unedited so I can know how serious I'm supposed to take this. Because so far, I'm just hearing a hall monitor. Honestly. And if this is why I should hate Darkseid Phil and why he's as bad as you say he is, I really do not give a shit. I do not fucking care. And why would anybody? The people who are concerned about this are fucking crazy ass woke kook nonsense moron motherfuckers who guzzle cum all day. All right?
While gaming. Many people's careers get decimated when they have one racist remark revealed to their audience, but Phil is such an absolute based unit that he himself compiles and posts his own expose material. Around the same time.
Take that, PewDiePie. Hey, sometimes it's not good to be the king. Well, PewDiePie is the the king, the top. He's the top guy, okay? But Darkside Phil is the king of the dark area of, I guess, on internet or gaming YouTube stuff. You know, under the radar, where no one would even freaking care. Okay? He could spew out a bunch of N-words. You know, I wonder if he could, well, he's on Twitch. If it was a game on YouTube, maybe he could get away with it.
Time he started putting more effort into uploading to his YouTube channel, he was also hired into a job as a customer service phone operator for a company called Aftermarket Support for Helicopters. Though sometimes he refers to it as HSI, which means Helicopter Support Incorporated.
So we're not going to play the audio. We're not going to play any of the audio of those racist jokes. Oh, Turkey Tom, why not, man? Don't you support free speech, man?
According to Phil's retelling, he constantly worked extra hours and was paid less than other people who did the same job as him, despite the company's actual vice president telling them he was better than his customer service position and that he was to undergo extensive training for a promotion into what sounds like a general managerial role. He supposedly did all of this training while remaining a customer service employee, which he described as equivalent to working 2 jobs simultaneously. After 2 years of this, he was temporarily taken out of his customer service position and placed into that managerial position. And if his word is to be trusted, he revamped the entire company and started saving them a lot of money. And his work was so excellent that they gave him an award. The only problem was his work was so excellent, in fact, they no longer had any use for him. And within 2 months of giving him this award, they laid him off. Does this sound fishy to you at all? Because it sounds...
Okay. All right. So the guy embellishes a lot about his career. Huh. I seem to think of an internet lawyer, a YouTube lawyer, who for years was like he's the best lawyer, right? Would present himself as an actual practicing attorney, and it turns out not to be the case. Man, okay. Is this why I'm supposed to hate Darkside Phil? Is this why he's as bad as they say he is? Because he embellishes his past. Oh, he lies about his past. I don't give a shit. What the fuck? Why would I fucking care? It's not like him saying, it's not him like he's lying about having cancer or trying to scam you out of money using like a crypto scheme crazy thing, okay? No, he's not doing that. He's doing the thing that all guys do when they're talking to a chick. They embellish their story. They make themselves look good in the public. Hell, shit, I should do what Darkside Phil does and hype myself up in that way. Okay? Because, you know, that could help. Okay?
Sounds like the Pacific Ocean to me, and to many other people as well. Well, though we only have Phil's side of the story, it's not that difficult to...
Yes. Bees Vendir? Actually, yeah. DSP is like Tommy Wiseau, the character in the room. That's right, man. That's right.
A very different one from simply looking into it. For starters, his last job was at Best Buy. And
I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I actually have not. I know the meme of the room, but I've never actually watched the whole movie.
Story with it is also very interesting. Phil claims that he was the leader of a business team and was paid better than everyone else, and that the leadership at Best Buy hated him because he made too much money. Again, this story is basically that he was so good at his job, there was no reason for the business team, which he was the leader of, to exist, and because they couldn't just fire him, they framed him for violating Best Buy's discount policy. That or...
Oh. Holy shit, they framed him for that? The discount policy? So was Darkside Phil trying to give people the hookup? Darkside Phil was very generous with this discount, with the discounts there. Is that what's going on? So Darkside Phil is bad because of that. Yet he would give people discounts and help them out, cut them a break. It's almost as if Darkside Phil, the way he's being described right here, makes him sound like he's a man of the people. Listen to this.
That he was so good at his job, there was no reason for the business team, which he was the leader of, to exist, and because they couldn't just fire him, they framed him for violating Best Buy's discount policy.
They framed him for violating the discount policy, which means they fired him for violating the discount policy. I'm very curious. I want to know more about these discounts that were given. Like, does Darkseid feel using that as power to to make chicks happy? Or everyone happy? I want to know, how generous was he? Like, I am a generous man.
That, or he did indeed get fired for violating Best Buy's discount policy, but I'll let you decide which is more likely.
Why are we supposed to hate that? I think, aren't some of the people who hate Darkseid feel also like commie-loving, like anti-capitalist people, right? Anti-capitalism, like I follow some of the stuff on Twitter, X, or whatever, that they seem like they are. I would go on Kiwi Farm. It seems like the detractors are mostly like leftist retards. So I'm like, okay, all right. So, but we're supposed to not like him because he would give out discounts. Okay. All right.
If only they reduced his pay instead of framing him, they would have found out that Phil is willing to be underpaid and work multiple jobs at the same time. Anyway, this is just a segue to the question, how did he get a job at a helicopter support company? The answer is deceptively simple. His dad, as a former logistics coordinator.
Yeah, that happens. That happens all the time.
For HSI put it, there was a significant culture of being rewarded in accordance to who you know rather than what your work affects.
That's like every corporation I've ever worked for, ever. Who you know or who you blow. If you've never heard that at work, then you've never had a job. Okay? You can work at McDonald's. You can work for the actual state. It kind of goes down to who you know or who you blow. Sometimes both.
Presumably, Phil heard these kinds of complaints from his more blue-collar workers and decided to pretend he was one of them, but the truth was precisely the opposite. His father, David, worked at the company as a customer support manager from 2005 to 2007, later being promoted to logistics manager and finally, continuous improvement leader, which is noteworthy since this is the exact phrase Phil uses when describing his job and training at the company. It instantly becomes clear that David, having achieved a reputable position in the company, had his son hired as the position he used to occupy. The highest likelihood is that Phil simply transplanted his dad's achievements onto himself. Unlike Phil, his
Oh, that's horrible crime! How dare he do that? Lock him up! Lock him up! He's the worst human being ever. Oh my God! Man, you detractors are fucking morons, dude. What the fuck? Like, especially now at this point, after all the shit you see on YouTube, all the other people getting caught with crazy shit, actually doing crazy shit, fucked up shit. I think, like, I'm looking at that in the perspective of it all, pretty much, okay? And I'm like, man, you tell me, you give me a list of reasons why he's as bad as you guys say he is. Honestly, tell me. And Turkey Tom is usually a pretty good orator, right? I guess. People seem to like him.
Dad is an extremely experienced and highly skilled person, a former Marine with GPAs north of 3.7, along with a bachelor's, 2 masters, and 1 PhD, all related to quality management.
Wait, I want to make sure I get this. So wait. Darkseid Phil, the other thing he does is he boasts about his father's achievements and put that on him. On himself. You know, like, if you ever talk about your dad or your mom and they achieved a lot of cool stuff, don't you say that as if you are, like, prideful and proud to be in that lineage?
Dad is an extremely experienced and highly skilled person, a former Marine with GPAs north of 3.7, along with a bachelor's, 2 masters, and 1 PhD, all related to quality management. His stint managing HSI was just an extension of his already decades-long business relationship with its parent company, Sikorsky Aircraft, having begun as a mere shop technician and being promoted all the way up to an elite position before becoming his own boss and opening a company of his own. The job he passed down to his son wasn't an entry position, it was something he worked up to for 3 decades. So it's no wonder Phil couldn't fill his shoes even a little bit. All of this becomes particularly egregious when later on in his career, Phil punctuates.
I don't think they have that fact right. There's something else going on there. It'd be like, oh, this guy he just got the job. If it is as it is, okay, it sounds like Darkside Phil got the hookup. Hey, sometimes it's good to have a dad that achieves a lot. How's that a bad thing? How's that a freaking bad thing? You'd be like, nepotism, whatever. I don't give a shit. I do not. And you wouldn't be saying that if you had the opportunity to take advantage of that situation. You're telling me you wouldn't take that opportunity? You're telling me you wouldn't take a sweet job that your dad has for you? You're telling me you wouldn't work at your dad's dealership? Huh? You're telling me you wouldn't do that? Fuck you. You would. I knew you guys would. Everyone would.
Punctuates this story with his complaints and grievances about how corporate America is mean.
A sweet summer gig. You get to blow off a little bit. You can be a little leg and do whatever because it's your dad, whatever. But you better deliver.
Later on in his career, Phil punctuates this story with his complaints and grievances about how corporate America is mean and exploitative to poor little blue-collar workers like him, when he was literally a nepotism hire. The whole being thoroughly trained for an elite position story also disintegrates once Phil makes the mistake of showing the
okay, all right,
award he got during a stream. As it turns out, the award for his amazing work was in fact simply a certificate that he had completed something called ACE certification program, which by doing cursory research into the company is something that tens of thousands of people go through at HSI and not a special program he was assigned to by the vice president himself.
But did you go through an ACE certification program? No, you didn't, Turkey Tom. You're not ACE certified, so shut your goddamn mouth. How about that? You wouldn't even know what the test is. I'm just like this. This is so dumb. Like, this is what we're talking about?
In any case, his delusion about his job at HSI is so great that he actually believes...
I'm missing how this spawns or becomes, I guess, fuels a whole hate community.
That him being laid off caused the company to go out of business.
At that helicopter company I worked for, within a few years of me getting laid off, they went out of business.
Another very conveniently underexplained wrinkle in this story is the detail about him buying a condo so that he could live...
Wait. Are you going to tell me a little bit more? Give me a little bit more is that true? Did the business go under after he leave? I'm missing something here.
Believes that him being laid off caused the company to go out of business.
At that helicopter company I worked for, within a few years of me getting laid off, they went out of business.
Another very...
I want to back up one more time. I don't see anywhere in this part where Turkey Tom shows a date of when that business went out of business. So that's funny he left it out, which means it probably did. Because he didn't want to put it in there. Oh, you fucking idiot.
For within a few years of me getting laid off, they went out of business.
Another very conveniently underexplained wrinkle in this story is the detail about him buying a condo so that he could live closer to the job. And
Wait, did he buy a condo? You said he lives with his parents. Did he buy a condo? Did he? Huh?
Paraphrase, be the guy that shows up during a snowstorm when everyone else doesn't. The problem with his Hustlers University tier motivational grind begins with the fact that he bought a condo while being supposedly severely underpaid. However, the real crux of the condo story comes when you find out that, based on the intentional self-docs Phil gave out in a video tour of his condo, and the public records of his dad's address, which are not going to be specified for privacy reasons, it was less than a 10-minute drive from his parents' house. He already lived near his job. All his move did was shave off a mere 5 minutes from the total commute. Meaning, he bought a $130,000 condo because he wanted to buy one. More avid...
Wait. So he doesn't live with his parents. You said he lives with his parents, you fucking asshole. Now you're giving me reasons why I shouldn't like Turkey Tom. Okay? I thought you were supposed to be giving me reasons why I shouldn't like Darkside Phil. So he doesn't live with his parents. He lives in a condo. I'm sorry, it's near his parents. Well, I'm sorry. He didn't fly... Oh my God, the crime. The crime. How dare Darkside Phil live near his family? How dare he do that?
Avid followers of DSP have added to the in-depth analysis of his condo shenanigans, saying that part of Phil's motivations for buying property so close to his parents was so he could just go back to their house to get meals and his clothes washed due to
Yes, you take advantage of the free meals. Why wouldn't you fucking do that? If you have a family who loves you and still wants to do that, yeah. What the fuck? How dare he do that too?
him being too much of a man-child.
You can't ask for his mom's meatloaf, right? He already moved out.
To do those things himself. And to be honest, I actually agree with that lifestyle choice because I am a man baby and I refuse to do anything. Last but not least, it's claimed he at one point admitted to buying
okay, so you know. You can't say no to mom's cooking. Yeah.
the condo from a girl he worked with in hopes of getting with her, only to be notified she had a boyfriend after the deal was closed. However, a lot of the original Darkside Phil uploads have been privated or otherwise unavailable through regular means, so these footnotes have yet to be verified. But regardless of the whys and hows, despite his father's
Dude,
best—
this is 2 hours long. I'm gonna give it an hour. If you can't convince me in an hour, I think we're gonna have to be like, no, he's just not happening. He's not convincing me. We'll see.
efforts, Phil once again found himself unemployed, and it was during this period that he decided to pursue content creation full-time, and his hobby turned into his profession. There was only one pesky little issue with this plan. Phil had his AdSense account preemptively disabled for directly begging for his audience to click on the ads that appeared on his videos, something that went—
Oh, yes, this thing. Yes. You know, I am willing to bet Darkside Phil is not the only one who's ever asked someone to click on their own ads. I know it's against Google's policy, but it's money, right? You're telling me I'm supposed to hate Darkside Phil, think he's a bad guy, for telling his people, his viewers, to click on the ads? He's just trying to make money off the ads. Look, these corporations buy for the ads, right? Let's just take the money. Yeah. I don't see how this is a bad thing.
Against the terms and conditions of the standard AdSense contract.
Please go to my partner channel, The King of Hate HD, and click on the ads that show up
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
that's unemployed, but yet it has 1,300,000 condos. Yeah. 30,000 condos. That's crazy.
videos there because hopefully, fingers crossed.
Phil would later try and distract people from this fact by saying that the real reason his AdSense was suspended was due to a video of his being so successful, YouTube thought he was cheating.
I made this video of me in the shower topless, scrubbing my body, basically slurring my words because I had drank so much, all right? It went viral. Within a day, the thing had something like 30,000 views, if not more.
You know what? I'm going to say I believe in this story. Because you tell me a video like that wouldn't go viral? This ugly man in a shower? Because that's the stupid shit that gets viral now. He literally had the chick talk about spit on that thing, and everyone around the fucking world was talking about it.
And honestly, because I was making so much, there were ads on it, and people were going crazy for the ads. I made like $1,000 in a day on that video, which is out of control, right? But that video got so much attention. Guess what? That was the video that triggered YouTube 7+ years ago to think that I was cheating with the AdSense program, and they contacted me and said, "We're kicking you out of the AdSense program on this channel because we suspect that you're sitting there clicking on the video to get ad revenue because you made so much in one day." And I was like, "I didn't. It was the viewers. The viewers went nuts for this."
Please tell me he has video and actual audio of him actually also asking his viewers to click the ads. Like I would like to see that. It should be simple. It should be like a simple sign off on a video or something. I'm just curious.
This crazy video and probably went over and went, "Oh, I want to support Phil, the underdog. He just lost his job. Let's all click on the ads or whatever," which you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to do that on YouTube. No, you're not supposed to ever try to have someone click on ads or anything. It's supposed to be of their own free will. So YouTube falsely accused me of doing this myself.
That sounds very, very real. In the very same breath, he lets it slip that he asked for people to click on the ads, confirming that this was the violation in question, before proceeding to haphazardly justify it. This wasn't the only blow Phil suffered, as a series of playthroughs he was in the process of completing were being uploaded to his channel for the game Splinter Cell Conviction. He got copyright striked, which made the original Darkside Phil channel screech to a halt.
Oh, that's right. Certain games, because of the music and stuff, you get copyright strike. That stuff sucks, man.
In response to this, he created DSPGaming, his longest
That's
running
not
and
DSP's
currently
fault,
still
though. I mean, shit, dude. It was a
active
shit
main
system.
channel, even after the original channel was reactivated when YouTube decided the copyright claims were indeed false. Since his AdSense account was still not working, the prospect of being a professional gaming content creator on YouTube was still squarely outside of Phil's purview, so he went to another website, which at the time was one of YouTube's main competitors, Blip.tv. Blip was considered laxer on copyright issues.
Oh, I remember Blip TV. Huh. If you see that little poster behind me, it has YouTube, Blip TV, Ustream TV.
Hence why creators like nostalgia critics Doug Walker also re-uploaded their content there. However, Phil's time on Blip was very short, as the more relaxed terms of service made him a little too comfortable. How comfortable? Well, he decided to roleplay as the last remaining Nazi during a playthrough of the game Dead Space 2.
Please play it. Play the audio. Play the audio. It's funny. Play it. Play it.
Saying that
Come on, man. Around this same time, like, people were talking like this shit. These sort of jokes, come on, shut up. Turkey Tom's been like, oh, no, don't ever talk like that, whatever.
Enemy he killed in game was Jewish.
This is what happens when you let the Jews do whatever they want. You've let the Jews overrun space, and now look at this. Their greed has had the artifact turn everyone into necromorphs.
Despite being the second biggest creator
Because in Dead Space, you're playing as a space Nazi. How about that? Huh? Are you? I don't know.
At the time, this probably lost him his partnership with Blip, leaving him bereft and upset that he wasn't given a chance to redeem himself by the platform. Just in the nick of time, however, came Machinima, who offered him a chance.
Someone had to report him. Wow, yeah.
To bypass his AdSense troubles by having the money come into their account. For the sake of full disclosure, an often forgotten about fact is that this wasn't the first opportunity.
So far, I mean, this whole part is like the fun police came in, or like your jokes are too much, you're too raunchy on stream. Pissing off the Jews with those jokes. You know? You don't want to piss them off. Why? Because they hold our money. I mean, no, don't worry about that. They don't control anything. Okay, just don't piss them off. It's kind of funny how there's like one sect of people that you can't criticize, you can't laugh about. All right.
He had to partner with Machinima. The first time a contract was being negotiated was back in 2010, but Phil ruined it by first demanding his videos be featured once a week on Machinima's channel, and when his demands were rejected, he made a video trashing the company for unrelated, and according to Hutch, made-up reasons. But a year later, Machinima overlooked it and foolishly decided to take him on anyway. On top of that, they would also protect him from any potential copyright issues he may face. Just like that, DSP was back to—
You know what? You might get another cigar.
Forcing his YouTube success by uploading a massive volume of videos until one of them—
Ain't smoking cigars here. Might actually get cancer. Oh, I don't want to wish it on myself. I gotta bless myself with more beer. That's my healthy. That's my medicine.
Happened to get a lot of views, much like he used to do on the original DSP account. Alongside the gameplay videos, he had other segments such as Ask the King Q&A, the Weekend Preview, which I suppose covered DSP-related news, and the most notorious DSP Tries It, where Phil would, as the name suggests, try new things of all varieties. Eventually, it was canceled.
Yeah, and did people like it?
However, due to the negative effects it was having on his health, due to how often
he didn't have commitment. DSP wasn't fully committed to trashing his health by eating just random garbage. There's another YouTuber who does this shit. Oh man, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. It's a kid. He has slick back hair. He wears a suit, and he does like these fast food reviews. And I worry about that kid's health. He's not a kid. He's an adult, but he looks like a kid. Because eating nothing but fast food will just crap you in that age, I suppose.
trying involved eating extremely unhealthy fast food. Despite the very rocky road he took to get to this point, Phil finally approached something resembling stability, and even a fan base who tolerated his attempts at humor and the incessant burping and snorting straight into the microphone. Okay, that's a little facetious. The Dead Space thing was honestly pretty funny. If you were to scroll through the comments on his condo tours from 2011, people were genuinely happy for Phil. Many even...
That's the thing about Tricky Tom. Like, he'll admit certain things are kind of funny. Okay. So what's... All right.
Living vicariously through him, wishing they had an entire condo to be their man cave full of gaming memorabilia. For every person annoyed by Phil, there were many more that enjoyed watching him. There was a moment in time in which it could be said the general audience wanted to like him, and there was a reason to be optimistic for the future of Darkside Phil. But nobody could predict how fast this reputation would sour.
Okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. Maybe we're getting to the doozy.
You worked on this part of the game, you're a worthless human.
In the early 2010s, Google reformed its AdSense system, and now it rewarded viewer retention instead of sheer numbers of views. Essentially, the longer someone watches your video, the better. Just getting a click is not enough to make as much money as someone who gets people to stick around on their video for an hour. This was an issue for Phil since he had a penchant for splitting his videos up into dozens of little tidbits, rarely cracking 10 minutes, often being as short as 2. He also refused...
Wait. I guess he got his AdSense back then, huh? Because why would he care unless he got his AdSense back? Okay. All right. That's good.
To improve the technical aspects of his content despite how much money he had already made out of it and how many of his actual legitimate fans were begging him. By 2011, PewDiePie was already soaring to insane heights of popularity with relatively good quality, a decent mic, and even a face cam, setting a new standard for gaming content, while Phil was still languishing with his
Wait, so Darkside Phil predates PewDiePie? So Darkside Phil was the original king of the sector of gaming, the gaming sector.
Busted camera filming a screen with little to no editing to speak of. The problem became more and more inflamed as time went on, and Phil's viewers let him know that if he wasn't interested in evolving his format, they would move on to newer and better channels than his, to which he either responded with derision, a ban from his channel comments, or both. In short, DSP made it clear he didn't want to treat YouTube like it was, his job and his only source of income.
2 years ago...
Oh yeah, he has a particular way he wants to do it. He wants to keep it low production. Okay. All right.
It was about me, waking up, putting my camera down whenever the hell I felt like it, recording for a few hours and uploading the footage to YouTube. Now, it's about having a schedule. Every day, getting up, whether I feel good or not, plopping down on the couch, setting up, live streaming on a schedule so you guys can watch live, then trying to figure out how to schedule out uploads. It actually, I'd say this, it's actually more work at this point doing what I'm doing because it is more like having a regular job. Every day I'm trying to do 2 streams because that's the kind of dedication that I put towards this effort. So
do like an 8-hour stream every day. The same thing every day. That sounds like hell. But it's not an actual job though.
So, sitting down, streaming for several hours, uploading videos, streaming a second stream, babysitting the videos, setting them up for uploads, putting them into playlists, tweeting, keeping you guys in the know. It's a lot of work versus what I used to do.
Very rarely do you get this clear of an admission of laziness. He often bragged about how much...
Wait, what? That was the clear admission of laziness? Isn't that what streamers do? What the fuck are we talking about? Wait. How is that any different than other game streamers? You could go to Twitch right now and you see the same fucking shit. They're just sitting in a chair, playing a game. What is the increased production? Like, what the fuck are we? God, okay.
Much money he made off of his channel, but clearly it wasn't enough for him to hire an editor, get a capture card, or basically anything that would improve the experience for the viewer being the reason he gets any money in the first place. And if that weren't enough, even in hindsight he sees nothing wrong with his attitude, and actually blamed the negative responses he was getting on people being envious of how much money he was making. Due to his plummeting popularity, and concomitantly his depleting AdSense...
I mean, people could be envious. They see him making money, and he's just sitting on his ass playing games all day. That's why I think some of the detractors are mad at him, because He's doing what they wish they could do, and they probably tried it and gave up. Instead of me, who still tries it and wonders why.
His attitude, and actually blamed the negative responses he was getting on people being envious of how much money he was making. Due to his plummeting popularity and concomitantly his depleting AdSense revenue, Machinima sought to reevaluate his contract, renegotiating various areas of their partnership. Particularly, the amount Phil was paid for pumping out his content slop was under heavy scrutiny, since Machinima was receiving a lot less from advertisers. It seems that this renegotiation talk finally lit an ember under Phil's ass and got him to at least try and do different things than his usual stick. One of these things was a series called Project 7, which was purportedly made based on suggestions from Machinima and his fanbase. I know this era of YouTube, and particularly content adjacent to AVGN and Nostalgia Critic, which this definitely was, is typically cringy and corny, and that's part of the appeal, but I think this was kind of...
a lot of people make content like this. Myself included. I don't think you'd see those videos. I think they're still up. I think they might be unlisted or something. They're not good.
Cutting it a little bit close.
That's right, and you'll never escape my clutches.
The skit era, the YouTube skit era. God damn it. Okay. All right, I tell you what, that's one legitimate reason why Darkside Phil is the bad boy they say he is, because he participated in this shit.
That's just me being a hater, though, because alongside with his panel at MagFest 2012, Project 7 was one of the very few instances of genuine positivity surrounding Phil's come-up. And for a very brief period, it was...
His come-up? Are you trying to put in a cum joke there?
Almost as if he wasn't completely phoning it in for the money. However, despite Project 7 looking good on Phil's resume, and giving his channel the appearance that he was indeed putting in an effort, the stories surrounding it behind the scenes were dismal. In an hour-and-a-half long video that eventually came out in 2015, only to be taken down by Phil due to it being a PR nightmare for him, his friends John Rambo and Howard, with whom he did Project 7, told the truth about how it was made. Mind you, this wasn't initiated by John and Howard, but by Phil himself, who, when asked about the rumors of the two no longer being friends with him, said that real men discussed their problems and suggested that the only feasible explanation for their falling out is that they were jealous of him, as Phil tends to do. All of the videos of Project 7, which heavily relied on editing and storyboard.
So far, none of this makes Darkside Phil look like a internet villain, okay? It's whatever stuff, okay?
Were produced by two childhood friends of Howard's, Andre and Paul, who ran the YouTube channel Respect the Pact. As a matter of fact, they were the ones who had the idea for Project 7 and only brought Phil in, presumably because he was looking for ways to branch out with his content. Initially, Phil being the face of it meant that their work would get more eyes on it than usual, which is a good thing.
Okay, yeah,
however,
they
quickly realized Phil wasn't exactly someone who exhibited good faith. For starters, the editing and special effects, which again were the brunt of the series, was taking up a lot of Andre and Paul's time, especially since Andre was about to become a father. This prompted John to tell Phil to pay them for their efforts, to which Phil replied he had already offered to do so, and they'd turned it down. This turned out to be a bold-faced lie, which was instantly revealed once John mentioned it to them. Apparently, Phil had every...
these areas, these things about like bad business partner, all this stuff, I'm not... Like I wasn't in the room with these people. I don't see the documents, the papers, if there weren't any contracts. I don't know what the truth is. I'm just hear his story, hear the other person's story. I'm just like, okay. So what I'm getting is probably don't do business with either one of you guys. I hope things work for you all in the future. Whatever.
Intention of keeping every proceed from Project 7 to himself and wanted to share it with absolutely no one. And before you think this is because of machinima renegotiations or what have you, during the production and publishing of the show, Howard noticed that Phil bought a plethora of expensive man-baby gamer toys, which he's known for decking his house out with. And if that isn't enough to invoke a sense of injustice, a BMW. Notwithstanding, everyone involved in the series...
But, he bought that with money that he has, right? Oh, but they need to pay him more. Okay. Look, man, if you don't like what's going on in your contract, whatever, if you can't work it out, it's just going to dissolve. That's what it is. All right. your inability to work it out. If the other person's stubborn, doesn't want to pay you more, well, I mean, that is what it is. Like, what are we supposed to do about it? Like, get all upset? Okay. No. Not my problem.
Contributed out of their own pocket to produce and sell merchandise for it, but only Phil ever saw any of the resulting revenue. The pettiness on Phil's part was so extensive that he didn't even tolerate positive comments about the other participants in Project 7. Upon seeing John Rambo's contributions to the show be considered funnier and better performed than his, Phil rushed to claim that everything, including their lines, was his idea, when they were not. They confronted him about it, and he apologized, but according to John in particular, Phil's apologies meant very little. Over the course of their friendship, Phil tended to
Okay. Don't do business with him, I suppose. There you go.
either make a slight or tell a lie about John, apologize when confronted, only to do it again a while after. Ultimately, this is
the evil of dark side Phil. He takes he takes credit for other people's work on a group project. Okay. I mean, like that is like we've not have done that, right? Ever. Wasn't DSP the main draw of the show? Yeah. He was the main draw. They were using him for his likeness and all that stuff. But they were doing more work, so, but he was the rock star of Project 7. He was the rock star of Project 7. And they were like, can we get more money? And we're talking about YouTube special effects, like YouTube skit era special effects. They were not extensive, dude. They used like After Effects. They did it very poorly. Probably not even that. They probably just used like some Windows editor and just put like muzzle flashes on the screen. Everyone was doing that shit. I'm skipping all these ads for you, by the way. I'm trying to get off.
This is why their friendship broke down. They simply lost all faith that Phil could listen and care about what actions of his made his pretty much only friends uncomfortable or upset, and gave up on interacting with him altogether. Eventually, in 2022, Phil claimed that the reason no payment was made to them for their work on the project was due to the fact that, indeed, the project was losing money. Even if this was the case, and who knows, there's a fair chance it was, he could have just communicated that to them. The fact that he didn't talk about the project failing until 10 years later is at least a little bit suspicious, I guess. Just a little. While the seeds were being sown for the disintegration of Phil's relationship with his friends, he was beginning a new relationship with someone else. Leanna, also known as Panda Lee Games, or just...
Okay, this is the part. I remember this. I remember Darkside Phil as an internet bad boy. Internet bad guy. Because Panda Lee needed to go to the hospital and he was like not helping her. Or something like that. Okay. Let's hear this story again.
Panda Lee. Immediately, people took issue with the fact that Phil was 30 years old while Leanna was born in 1993, meaning in 2012 she would have been 19 turning 20. Since Phil's life was
Backed it up. So she's 20. How old does Darkside Phil?
Or just Panda Lee. Immediately, people took issue with the fact that Phil was 30 years old while Leanna was born in 1993, meaning in 2012 she would have been 19 turning 20. Since Phil...
Like a 10-year difference? Okay. But here's the other thing. They're both adults. So why would I care? I swear, man. I swear. It's like... Oh, but there's something wrong with that. It's like a 10-year age gap. You have YouTubers and streamers that are messaging minors. Okay? I don't have time to hate watch this guy because there's a 10-year age gap between him and his girlfriend. I just don't care.
Phil's life was indistinguishable from his content at this point, since he would spend most of his waking hours doing something or other to contribute to the pumping out of more content. Leanna coming into his life meant that she was bound to show up on the videos as well. However...
Oh, look at that. She just wants to suck dick. That's what she's saying right there. She's like, I'd rather be sucking dick.
Some viewers took issues with this, as her presence was sometimes considered disruptive to the regular flow of content. Personally, I don't get this very much because as far as I can tell, she was basically the female version of Phil and close to being as obnoxious and insensitive as he was.
But anyway, yeah, you gotta like expose the Illuminati. They know everything.
But the Illuminati does know everything. I mean, she's right there. She sounds very smart, actually. Very, very intelligent. Actually, maybe, you know what? Maybe she's cuckoo up there, okay? Ain't too many cuckoo puffs, all right? That's what's going on. She's crazy. She's crazy.
But I know more.
Viewers attempted to negotiate with Phil regarding her presence in the videos, but Phil, like he always does, took this constructive criticism as abject hatred and responded exactly how you'd expect him to. When a commenter said, "Don't mind her doing playthrough with you, but these type of vlogs should just be you," he replied with a very gracious, "You're a f***ing idiot." The Leanna...
Wait. That's why we should be mad at him? You're an effing idiot. Like, oh my God. Oh, the crime that Darkside Phil committed is that he's mean. He's mean to his commenters. They just said that maybe your girlfriend that you really love and want to be in a relationship with and all this stuff is bad for your content, bro. Don't have her in there. And he's like, fuck you. I'll do what I want. All right, look at that. Because who drives his content? He does. He's not gonna be like, okay, this whatever the king of what was his name? Scrub the Nub. Well, Scrub the Nub.
These type of vlogs...
The king just dismissed your concern there, huh?
Should just be you. He replied with a very gracious, "You're a f***ing idiot." The Leanna situation went on for a while despite the consistent grumbling of some members of the audience. Until one day, it scabbed over during a stream in which Phil was playing Kingdom Hearts.
I'll skip one more
Panda
ad.
Lee began provoking the chat by making...
I'll skip. That's the last ad I'm skipping. It's deep in my heart. I'm a capitalist. All right, I'm going to capitalize. I'm making little pennies. Not even a penny. Like a fraction of a penny. Every little ad play.
A series of remarks about the game's quality. Kingdom Hearts is boring. All fanboys, please cry into jars so I can moisturize in your sadness and rage. Due to this...
I think you can... Don't you see that or hear that in a Twitch chat? That sounds like something Amrant would say. Like, okay.
This somewhat inflammatory comment towards a beloved franchise, people fell to her goading and began arguing with her in chat. This is hardly a shock, since when people are watching Phil...
This is like... This sort of comment is something that simps pay to receive. Okay?
Play a game, it tends to be because they like the game. This went on until the crushing majority of chat turned against her, not just because they liked Kingdom Hearts, but because she was actively drawing negative attention to herself for no reason. All of it culminated in her appealing to Phil to do something about people being...
She was trying to remind people that she runs the show. She's the queen of the sector. There was a king and there's a queen. Okay? All right? That's the order of things. Respect the queen.
Being mean to her in chat, and so Phil conceded.
All right, and now I'm going to tell everyone in the chat I had enough of your bullshit tonight. I see everyone arguing with my girlfriend instead of talking about the game, and I've had enough. So we're going to put it in sub-only mode, and now none of you can fucking talk since you can't act your age or act mature, and you all want to argue with my girlfriend. Now you can just...
Wait, so we're supposed to... Wait, Darkside Phil is a bad boy, is a bad guy because he wanted to monitor his chat to where people would stop like getting into it with his girlfriend? They have sub-only chat? I think there's a lot of Twitch streamers that use sub-only chat. I'm pretty sure Pokimane has used sub-only chat. Not that I watch her streams. I'm just spitballing that one out there.
Just have no chat. How about that? So, fuck all of you who are acting immature. This is what you get now.
By the way, I would never ever play this game. I don't care. I don't care how good it is you say. I am not playing a game where there's like Disney characters, all this shit. And the older I get, the more true that is, the more real that is. I'm like, no. I don't give a shit.
Into sub-only mode.
idiots.
If people had found her to be a slight, even if infrequent, annoyance before, now she had been seen as a bully and a coward who was prone to instigating conflicts with her boyfriend's audience, only to run back under his umbrella of safety when people treated her how she treated others. She also took on Phil's tendencies regarding participating in—
That's what girls do. What the fuck are we talking about? Start shit and be like, start a fight and tell the boyfriend, oh, hey, can you help me? Okay. Like that is, oh my God.
in flame wars in the comment sections, saying things like, I get paid for trolls to watch and whine, so I don't see the harm in letting me get paid for them to cry more. Yeah, you clearly aren't getting any, but Phil is and has for over a year now.
Based. Yes. What's wrong with this?
To be honest, do you think Phil and I care about what you or anyone else thinks? Because we don't. If you were in front of me face to face, you'd get a nice helping of my fist punching you right in the balls. Perhaps the most—
Dude, I'm liking Panda Lee. What happened
ironic
to her?
moment out of the whole situation.
Was she too tough or what the fuck?
Was that years
She
later—
might be a little crazy. She looks crazy.
Phil actually threw her under the bus and described her as someone who was confrontational and always wanted to get the one up on everyone else. I mentioned it
probably even himself, but she seems like that. She seems fiery
before, but that's exactly the same trait that made Phil so unlikable early on. So he's not even projecting it onto her. He's accurately noticing why they got along with each other so well. They were similar people. But Leanna did serve a purpose in the larger narrative of DSP. Her presence led to much more concrete displays of disrespect from Phil to his audience. Indirectly, she was the reason many of Phil's—
I bet she gave really good— Okay. We're moving past that. I mean, it's true. I bet she did.
fans noticed how comfortable he was, disregarding their opinions and just doing whatever he wanted at their behest. Besides the beginning of Leanna's presence in his life and content, 2012 was also marked by even more examples of Phil being terrible at gaming, despite it being the core of his job. The most glaring instance was during a video—
Hey, people getting paid for being poor at their job, being bad at their job, is another black man. Whoa. It's just another thing. Another thing going on here. Okay, are we supposed to not like him because of that? We're supposed to not like him because he's bad at his job, yet he gets paid for his job? Then, I mean, why do people watch? The joke's on you. I mean, okay.
Of Half-Life Black.
You gotta get this. Bad credit and bad at his job. Gets paid for a bad job. Okay.
Mesa, in which he failed to pay attention to the game's tutorial instructions, proceeded to struggle for 30 minutes in an area of the game because he didn't know how to crouch jump, and then claimed that this core mechanic of the game's movement was actually bugged. Up until this moment, Phil's haters were—
Honestly, who likes crouch jumping? Any game that has crouch jumping is bullshit. Like, I hate that fucking shit. All right? Why do I need to just press those two buttons at the same time? Why couldn't you just have it where I fucking jump? I hate that shit, especially on the keyboard. You have to put your finger to press another button in addition to the jump button. Fuck you.
were disorganized and disaffected, believing that no matter how poignant their criticisms of Phil and his content were, they'd just fall on deaf ears. But as 2013 began, this was fated to change. A YouTube account called Evil AJ 2010 uploaded the very first entry to a sprawling series of videos that would ultimately spell Phil's downfall as a content creator. This series was called "This Is How You Don't Play."
His downfall? I mean, is he not creating content now? I mean, he still streams, still makes money. So lives off his streams. People say he makes nothing. I guess. He really making nothing, or is he making something? What is he making there? I'm pretty sure I've not seen Darkside Phil stream in a good while, a long time. But I'm pretty sure he makes more. I think. Well, he definitely makes more than anyone knew. I know he makes more than me for sure. Okay. What? I mean, what does he make? Is he able to bring in at least $4,000 a month? be able to do that? At the least.
And it compiled DSP's playthroughs while highlighting the funniest examples of him being awful at a game. The first one contained clips of Phil playing Metal Gear, a stealth game, like it was a regular action game, and dying a lot in the process. Phil addressed this during one of his long-winded rant videos, and though he made an effort to claim that they were the dumb ones for bringing attention to DSP's playthroughs and indirectly making him money, it was clear that for whatever reason, being called bad at a game bugged him, even if just a little. At face value, it's just a video highlighting how much he sucks at Metal Gear Solid. It's not that big of a deal, right? Like, somebody could make a whole channel on...
Bro, maybe he was just trying to play it that way. I mean, the first time I played Metal Gear Solid, I did try to play it like it was an action game, okay? And sometimes I'll play like that, all right? I mean, that's not how you play, and you will die a lot, whatever. But he's supposed to be really good at the game. Like, it's his job. Bro, I don't care. Now... Darksideville, being a little sensitive. Hey, you know, you hear a comment a number of times. There's a particular phrase, that one phrase. We all have a phrase that would like get under our skin. All right, my phrase. Don't say this. Don't you ever say this. Is Jessica? Don't you ever say that. Don't you ever call me that. You call me Jessica, you're going to send me into shock because it reminds me what my dad used to call me. Okay? Don't ever say that. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, hearing a particular phrase over and over again to the point to where you snap. Well, he's snapping, bro.
How bad I am at video games. They could make billions. But for Phil, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. The dam was cracking, and many of Phil's detractors, as he came to notoriously call them, saw it as a sign that they could also speak about their grievances with DSP in general. Slowly, the spark created by this video turned into a wildfire, and to an extent it was more popular than Phil himself. Due to Phil's focus on quantity over quality, the views his videos got weren't really attached to him or his brand, nor on how good the videos were. Hence why they oscillated so much depending on what game he played or what the video's topic was. Meanwhile, the How You Don't Play video catered to a very specific audience, people who didn't like Phil, and there was definitely an audience for that. It seemed like Phil felt the shift to his public image happen in real time, prompting him to make 2 videos to address the negativity, though he acted as if people actually hated him just...
And there you go. That's the birth of the detractor community. There you have it. So, a lot of the detractors are like people who laugh at him for being bad at games. That's fair enough. That's fine. I don't care about that. Go hurt his feelings as much as you want. Make him cry like a little crybaby. About his inability to play a game. All right. The other stuff, I'm just like, okay. Like that's not it doesn't make him a bad boy. It doesn't make him an internet bad guy because he sucks at a game when he's like supposed to be a gamer guy and that's his job. It just makes him average. All right. He's painfully average, but yet he found success because he was like one of the first. That's what's happening here.
Just because he was bad at the games. The thing is, many people have marketed their gaming videos on them sucking at it and dying a lot, but DSP was the opposite. He had a history of branding himself as a pro player and of blaming the game whenever he sucked. Part of his ego, part of his persona was that he was good at games. Furthermore, he also had a history of putting other people down for not being good at games. Case in point, Tobuscus. Back in mid-2012, he made a video called Get Competitors' Ads Off My Videos that supposedly was just him being upset that other channels were being advertised for in his videos. Putting aside the issue that he was still pocketing the money for these ads, in actuality, the video was a lot more malicious than Phil let on. For a significant portion of it, he did nothing but bash Tobuscus gratuitously.
That being said, please understand, disclaimer, this video
Tobuscus sounds familiar.
is not intended to be a direct attack on anyone.
A few moments later.
Your videos suck, you're not funny, and you're not good at gaming. Watch your own videos. You're horrible. When it comes to gaming, he's not funny. He's not funny.
For starters, this was a straight...
And, hey, who's still streaming? Who is still streaming? Who is still playing video games and streaming and making money off of it?
Stupid move, since if you were into...
Is Tobuscus dead? Did he die? Wait, no. something happened to Tabascus, right? Wasn't there a scandal? Wait, hold on. Guys, what happened with him? Don't bullshit me. Give it to me straight. What happened?
To one gaming YouTuber back then, the likelihood is you were into a lot of the other ones. So all Phil was doing was angering the parts of his audience that he shared with Toby. But Phil also specifically and seriously attacked him for not being funny and sucking at games.
Tabascus was accused of sexual assault and left the internet? I think Turkey Tom should have just brushed over this little bit here. If anything, it helps me. I present to you a man that was accused of sexual assaulting someone. This Tabascus guy. Okay? Darkside Phil was saying he sucks at gaming. Well, it was saying his videos suck. It's horrible. I agree with those statements now.
Both of which are DSP's whole brand, whether he knew it or not. Additionally, he suggested that Tabascus, along with other gaming channels he chose not to name here, have found different ways to abuse the YouTube system to get big. This is coming from the man who purposely—
Oh, look at those clickbait titles. Look at these thumbnails. I hate this shit. I hate it so much.
split his playthroughs into hundreds of different parts so that his total view count would go up, and asked for people to click on his ad.
Oh, look at my thumbnail. Hey. My thumbnail is not an exaggerated version of my face. It's just a nice little placeholder. 2016.
Ads so that he made more money from a video. Anyone with a cursory knowledge of DSP recognized he was throwing giant rocks from a extremely thin glass house. Last but not least, he says other gaming YouTubers don't put as much effort into their gameplays as he does, despite the fact that as of May 2012, he was still—
Okay, it's like a cock measuring exercise here. It's not getting me to hate him.
refusing to buy a capture card to properly record his playthroughs instead of pointing a camera at his screen. In his mind, his decision to not pay anyone to edit and improve his SEO by making decent thumbnails for him is justified due to how stellar his commentary is. So much so that he describes it as non-stop improv comedy. I'm not going to sit here and act like popular early 2010s gaming content was all comedy.
Dude, it's just video game streaming and you're talking at the same time with no script. It's just going to be random shit you say. Non-stop.
Gold, but Phil's brand of comedy definitely managed to be even more—
I swear, you take the funniest comedian in your mind, whoever that person is, you tell them, all right, you're going to be streaming 8 hours a day, no script, and you're just going to talk while you play a game. They might be funny for a little bit, but it's going to burn out. They're going to run out of steam real fast, okay?
Obnoxious. All in all, it was very clear that Phil was simply seething because there was someone being more professional than he was and making more money than he did because of it.
Okay? And then they hired Toby Turner to be the guy backstage. He's acting like an asshole. He acts like he's a goofball. He's self-deprecating. Complete, utter flop.
This entire commotion was particularly rich due to how many times Phil accused other people of disliking him out of jealousy, including the creator of the How You Don't Play series. The wave of hate towards DSP coalesced into a decentralized group called Kojima World Order, whose intro can be seen in many of the detractors' videos at the time. Unfortunately, there was also a downside to Phil being faced with all of these criticisms. It gave him the opportunity to play the victim. Despite his decline in viewership—
Well, I mean, they are making... They are making a detractor community off of him.
Having begun all the way back when YouTube's ad revenue system—
Hey, there's that guy that was a partner, but like said he wasn't paid, but he's still around. What's up with that?
switched to retention, he swiftly shifted the blame to evil AJ and everyone who was on his side, if that could be said as a side to be on. Finally, in early to mid 2013, DSP did the unthinkable and bought a capture card, presumably his way of caving to the negativity, also known as listening to reasonable advice your own audience has been giving you for years as to what they want to see, or maybe just like what the industry standard is. However, it was a little too late, and the tide had already turned against him for good. Undeterred, Phil went on to cause even greater controversy within his audience when he started the hard.
This controversy is lame as shit, dude. Why did people care about any of this stuff?
Core gaming season giveaway of 2013, when rather than giving away actual games,
Okay, here we go. A giveaway. Oh boy, is this gonna be like Mr. Beast level, like scandal? Let's find out.
Turned against him for good. Undeterred, Phil went on to cause even greater controversy within his audience when he started the hardcore gaming season giveaway of 2013, when rather than giving away actual games, he instead gave away empty boxes.
This is Deus Ex Human Revolution Collector's Edition. Comes with this very nifty collector's box on the inside. Comes with a few things. First of all, collector's edition packaging. As you open that up, you're going to see the game's gone because I traded it in years ago.
This got him lambasted and unsubscribed from.
Wait. Hold on. You just showed a video where he showed the thing that he was giving away. And during what he showed that there was no game in it. So he didn't scam saying that there was a game in it. He flat out, if I'm just taking what Turkey Tom showed me here, right, I'm asking, why am I supposed to think he's a bad guy? The bad boy that they say he is. Turkey Tom's saying, oh, he made it seem as if he scammed with the giveaway. We give out a game, but there wasn't a game in the box. It was just like an empty box. And then you have Darkside Field there talking about what he's giving away. And what does he say?
When rather than giving away actual games, he instead gave away empty boxes.
This is Deus Ex Human Revolution Collector's Edition. Comes with this very nifty collector's box on the inside. Comes with a few things. First of all, collector's edition packaging. As you open that up, you're going to see the game's gone because I traded it in years ago.
This got him lambasted and unsubscribed.
He told you what it was. He told you that there wasn't a game in there. If you still got that and expecting a game to be in there, be like, bro, I said there wasn't a game in there. I was just giving that away. That's literally what it was. What the fuck? It's like your ability to listen to someone speak. Like, if you're not able to do that and comprehend what they're saying, that, I don't know, Joe, it's on you, man.
Subscribed from, even by many of his diehard fans. Besides his fans, he was also being ridiculed by his peers. Other YouTubers and gaming-adjacent celebrities anywhere from 2013 to mid-2014 were...
I was supposed to be mad at this guy. You have Mr. Beast, YouTube's Pride and Joy or whatever, like saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you like $1,000, and that's not happening. That's going to go to his buddy, if anything. Running like charity fraud stuff, whatever it is he's doing. I don't know. It's crazy shit, what it sounds like.
Finding out who DSP was from the clips of him floating around online. PewDiePie and Minecraft's creator Nosh were roped into the DSP phenomenon. Even fellow Blip.tv adjacent lolcow Spoonie was roped in. Perhaps the most notable instance of another YouTuber chiming in with their 2 cents about DSP's situation was Total Biscuit, but not because it was the most aggressive takedown. As a matter of fact, it was quite the opposite. It was one of the most scathing pieces of criticism DSP ever received, precisely because of how generous and understanding it was as far as trying to see it from Phil's point of view. After being mentioned a few times by DSP, Total Biscuit made a comment saying, "If DSP is name dropping me a lot, I don't know why. It's really weird that he's doing that. He's not my friend or colleague. I've barely spoken to him. I dislike DSP's content and his attitude. I've done some terrible things on the internet that I regret, but nothing close to the stuff he does on a very regular basis.
The stuff he does on a regular basis back in this time, which would say racist jokes at times. Like what? The giveaway thing? being bad at games, telling those in his community that are telling him how to run his stuff, to pound sand, and they get butthurt. What I'm hearing is a lot of people are acting like they're the victim of Darkside Phil. And really, they just need to understand that, yeah, it's his channel, dude. Like he's going to tell you to go pound sand. And if he's doing a giveaway where it's just empty boxes, it tells you it's just empty boxes and you got it and you're expecting a game. Well, I mean, I got to say, you are a moron. It literally said it was empty. So, what's the bad thing here?
He is a really, really bad Let's Player, constantly blaming the game for his own mistakes, and I find that really distasteful. If you make your living playing someone else's work, then the least you can do is respect the work that went into it in the first place. I don't like to see someone harassed online daily. I've experienced it myself, and it's put me in some really dark places. But to say DSP brings it on himself is a massive understatement. His persona is the king of hate. He does it on purpose, and there's a lot of baggage that comes with being super negative. That's like his only defining characteristic. He's not good at the games he plays. He's a controversy machine, and that feeds his channel. Nothing I've seen him do has caused anything positive to happen. Here's the thing. Insulting your fans is often blown out of proportion. DSP is terrible for this, and most of what he says to his viewers is inexcusable, but let's not pretend that viewers are...
I would like to see more examples of some of the bad things he says to his viewers, because the stuff presented so far don't make me think he's like a bad guy compared to like other streamers we have seen. Others like Ethan, like people like Ethan Ralph, or Boogie. Okay. Oh shit, man. It's like this reminds me of like Gothic King Cobra stuff in a way. Like you have King Cobra being triggered by his trolls, his chat, and him lashing at them, and they feel like, oh, how are you being mean to us? Don't be mean to us. It's like, you guys are being mean to each other. You guys are all assholes. Like my chat is usually kind of mean to me because I'm mean to them. No, sometimes we bust each other's balls, okay? I don't know.
Are immune to criticism themselves. They often act like assholes, they're entitled, whiny, and provide a lot of subjective criticism with no constructive use. It can drain you emotionally and mentally to be subject to that kind of stuff all the time, and I really feel like part of that is why DSP acts the way he does now. Sometimes viewers do shitty things and should be called out, but let's be frank, DSP has a long history of calling viewers out for no reason. Rather than try to move away from that, he has embraced it. I'd like to see DSP get some help. Therapy. DSP in his current form doesn't help anyone, least of all himself, and incidents like the I'm giving away boxes thing make me believe he has some problems that he needs to deal with and get past, because regular people would not consider that a normal, sensible thing to do. I kind of pity
giving away boxes. I mean, he told you what was in the box. There was no game in the box.
him, but there's no smoke without fire, and DSP is a metaphorical arsonist obsessed with burning his house down. Kojima World Order is still hilarious. Phil, upon reading that comment, didn't take kindly to it. The entire comment is incredibly flawed. It's obvious he doesn't watch my content at all, and has only formed an idea of who I am and what I produce from the KWO montages. Because watching—
Hey, thanks for the $1.99, Jamie Jenkins. Thank you. I am $5 away from being able to afford a Happy Meal for my kids next month that I get paid. Wait, I don't get paid unless I actually meet the threshold of 100, so that's going to be a long time. I'm good, but thank you. No, I do appreciate that, though. Did we get anything on the screen? Was there like a... I don't even know if my Streamlabs is working. It should. It might be really delayed. Like, really delayed.
Watching any playthrough for more than 5 minutes outside of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, you'd know that my content isn't constantly bashing games, game devs, and blaming the game exclusively. Yes, complaining about the games are part of what I do, but not nearly 100% of the—
There we go.
Tom is propping up DSP to be a hero in this video.
What the fuck did we just hear? I don't... Oh, man. That was really delayed. Okay. Wow. Streamlabs is been hitting the bottle pretty hard. Streamlabs is like, well, Mr. Damien got a donation. This is right. We gotta fact check this.
Content I put out. The fact he thinks that the king of hate means that I've embraced being negative about everything, and that's my hook, just proves he has no idea whatsoever what he's talking about. Total Biscuit thinks that his videos are some kind of godsend because he's informing people about new games that you might not have heard of, and frequently he rips the sucky ones a new asshole. He thinks his content is better than mine because people don't buy bad games when they see his stuff. Only I've gotten thousands of messages over the years saying the exact same thing about my playthroughs and or reviews. Just because he puts out one highly edited video and I play through an entire game from start to finish doesn't make him better than me. And honestly, one edited video versus playing through an entire game, which is really harder to do. Seeking therapy because I sometimes get upset over / baited by trolls. If I'd let it get that much to me, I'd be in a nut house by now. Little did Phil know.
Okay. I wouldn't have gone in that detail. I'd be like, whatever. But still, I don't hate him. Like my hate meter for Darkside Phil is still like 0. Like there's no hate there. All right. Is he internet bad boy? What did he do compared to everyone else? Huh?
No, he was indeed in a nut house, except it was his condo and only had one inmate, himself. Besides him pretending, like Total Biscuit was saying DSP's content was exclusively negative, Phil completely sidesteps the treating fans like shit accusation and the empty box giveaway so that he doesn't have to acknowledge there's at least an inkling of—
He said there was a game in the box. Is it a stupid giveaway? Yeah, I'll give you that much. I'd be like, if I was giving away cases of beer, but I told you, actually, it's just a box. Like, I'm like, look at this box. You know, clearly there's nothing in it because I drank it all, but I'll give it to you. It's a giveaway I'm doing. Doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. But it's like a low effort thing just to do it. It's kind of like, you know, the big reveal, the big reveal one year was like, he has a cat. Oh, okay. His crime, if anything, is, if you want to know, I said it already, just being painfully average.
Truth to TB's comment. Despite the fast approaching instability due to his plummeting in popularity and YouTube's ad revenue policies not treating his content kindly whatsoever, the financial mastermind that is Phil Burnell decided it was time to once again buy a new condo, this time in Washington. Supposedly, he had no outstanding debt besides his condo, which he was still paying the mortgage for, and decided that Connecticut was too expensive to live in due to its very high taxes.
That's right. He has multiple homes. So, Turkey, Tom, you said he lives with his parents. Not only does he not live with his parents, he has multiple homes. I like how he brings up, like, no job. No, he has a job. Like, YouTube is his job. That's what's happening here. Okay. Clearly, I mean, he's able to get 2 homes of this shit? What the fuck?
So much so that it was worth it getting a house in another state, despite his outright admission that he had no prospects of selling or renting the Connecticut condo. In early 2014, Phil and Leanna move in together. Phil made it clear from the get-go that he was going to need his audience's money. A lot of it. Again, the issue isn't necessarily that he's asking for support, it's that the reason he needs support in the first place is that he decided to do a very expensive move at the same time his channel was dying. To make matters worse,
this is what streamers do. What the fuck are... Oh, wait. We're supposed to be mad about this? He's telling his audience. Okay, wait. I'm just going to regurgitate what I freaking heard. You tell me, just put a name in the chat who it also applies to, what it sounds like. This YouTuber told their audience, that he needs some money to help pay for some expenses that just recently occurred. Yeah, he chose to make those expenses, to make those purchases. But he's asking for your help. He's asking for your help because he can need it, right? He could use it. It could mean a lot. That's like every YouTuber, except they get more specific. The dark side feels say, actually, I need your money because I'm battling cancer and the cancer treatments. The dark side feels say, I'm really depressed right now. I feel like deleting and try to, I don't know, use those very sick manipulative tactics to try to get money out of people. No. He just flat out said the thing. Yeah. I have some new expenses and I need your help paying for it. Kindly help me pay for it. You want me to, like, the detractors want you to hate this guy, treat him like he's an internet bad guy, when he's literally telling you the reasons. Like, he's not, like, saying, help me because I have cancer and all this stuff. All right.
Worse, he tried implying that his lack of money wasn't his fault, but that the slow months he was experiencing was due to the games being released at the time not being good. It even got to the point that he suggested he was going to upgrade his video's quality to 1080p. You know the situation is bad when Darkside Phil is considering doing the bare minimum. But the trolls didn't fall for the pity party. If anything, his pivot to e-begging after his AdSense brute force strategy was no longer functional only earned him even more distaste, since instead of doing the smart thing by admitting this format was outdated and obsolete and changing it radically, he would rather beg for his fans to give him money directly. Before, Phil was just...
Yeah, because his fans will. Clearly, his fans will, and they do. While there's some detractors that don't, and then they act like Phil doesn't have any money. Clearly, Phil has money because he's able to do this stuff.
Ignoring the requests of people who watched him. But now, he was setting himself up to inevitably ignore the requests of people directly putting money in his pocket. But tensions weren't rising exclusively on the YouTube front. Over at his fan forum, because yes, he has a fan forum, the users were beginning to become upset over DSP's tyrannical method of management. Without due justification or warnings, Phil tended to ban users and lock threads without any concern. One infamous quote to come out of this situation was Phil saying, "I can't break the rules, I am the rules." I believe he's actually unknowingly quoting
So okay, he's managing his form and locking it down. I don't care. Don't care. We're almost an hour into this. I said an hour in, give me something. Give me something that's supposed to make me think Darkside Phil could be a bad guy. Internet bad guy.
Louis XIV, King of France, who said, "I am the law, I am the state." His own fan base got so sick of it that even the mods of the forum, who were appointed by Phil himself, took issue with it and tried to strike an agreement with Phil so that by establishing clearer rules, he would no longer act as an administrator and let
There was some drama on the forum, his forum, a long time ago.
them do their job. Consequently, he made a post announcing it. Effective immediately, all account names, avatars, signatures, etc. related to known internet memes dedicated to negativity regarding myself or my work are considered trolling, and per forum rules are a permanently bannable offense. This includes the Kojima World Order in particular, but is not limited to it. I'm already seeing accounts that, no surprise, are popping up on the site and doing nothing but spreading unfair and unwarranted negativity about me. I'm all for legit criticism, but these anti-DSP movements are not that. They're one-sided bullying campaigns and will not be tolerated on my site in place of business.
Good for you, Darkside Phil. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself against those trolls. I mean, that's what's going on here. It's like, I don't want you guys making fun of me anymore. Okay. But, he's blocking us. He's blocking us. He's banning us. He's locking the threads. Why can't we make fun of you?
If you have a problem with that, contact an admin for immediate deactivation of your account. Thanks all for understanding and moving forward positively. Despite this agreement, Phil proceeded to not uphold his end of the bargain by permabanning a user for what he deemed was unwarranted and unproven slander. The mods of the forum, along with many of the Twitch mods, resigned en masse, saying, "For those who read the settled agreement, this was not allowed. It was in direct violation of our agreement. We tried our best to stay, and unfortunately we failed in that regard. All the best, the departing staff." Noticing that even his own mods had left him, or in his eyes, betrayed him.
Yeah, the detractors at this point are like insane. Dude, this is... I could not I do not have. I just can't find it in myself to hate this.
A la Julius Caesar, Phil decided to respond on the forums. Mods did not uphold their end of the bargain first, which is why we've come to this. I refuse to pay thousands of dollars for a website where I get personally attacked with slander on a daily basis by the same people. Getting slaps on the wrist, such as warning points, haven't done anything to change the fact that the forums are a shooting gallery for my head. In the future, I'll either be seeking new forum staff who actually have the time and willingness to properly moderate, or I'll be downgrading the forum altogether to something more manageable.
Yeah, it's its own community. It's its own website. It's its own, like, forums. Yeah, I mean, like, he wants to. He doesn't want the detractors in there. He doesn't want people like going too hard and all that shit. I don't know what the posts were, or we don't know all the context of that. But okay, I don't have a problem with that. It'd be like if Turkey Tom had a Discord, and his Discord turned against him, and his Discord was like really going hard and making fun of him, all this stuff in a way he's not comfortable with. He gets tired of it. Except he's also paying for that Discord, okay, for the upkeep and all that stuff. Yeah, like.
For less people. I guess I didn't really need a $3,000 website, and I set myself up for failure when I got it. Thanks for those leaving, and I wish you all well in the future. For those wishing to stay, let me know so we can talk stuff out. I actually don't know what the hell he's talking about here. There are free forum template websites you can use for free, so unless he's an absolute idiot, he's a really bad liar. As a matter of fact, there's no...
Like a blog post? Was it a blog post website? What kind of website was it? Like, give us those details. Give us those details. Like, you found the site. Could you find out, like, what the web hosting was and all that stuff? Could you?
No reason to even
You'd be like, all free options exist. Why didn't you just use a free option? You didn't use a free option. He's a bad liar. I mean, he sounds like he's a little bit of an idiot at times and do things in a practical way. Yeah, I mean, he could have spent some money on that. But you did no research there. And I was supposed to be like, okay, he's lying. Or maybe we just don't know because you didn't actually look into it. Okay. All right, well, I mean, whatever, bro. Hey, do we lie sometimes? Yeah, sure. But, like, I don't know. Even if Darkside Phil was lying here, okay, him lying on the internet, does it make him the internet villain? Just makes him another YouTuber. Oh, he's just not on YouTube. Makes him another streamer. That's what it does.
Bring up $3,000 in the first place, so I suspect he just said it to brag, unless he's trying to suggest he was paying for the mods to do their job, in which case we're back to lying because they were unpaid. The situation continued to escalate as an administrator ousted Phil and would continue to take over the site, who in turn canceled the giveaway he was doing at the time due to it relying on fan art that was being published on the site. After the site was flooded with not safe for work images and completely wrecked, it went down and stayed down for good. At least until Phil revived it sometime later with a new, less inflammatory name. Just the DSP forums. When someone entered DSP's stream as he played Mortal Kombat 10, they successfully got him to lose his temper by bringing up the Leanna Kingdom Hearts incident, prompting Phil to spend the next few minutes just airing out his rage.
He's talking about something that happened 2 fucking years ago on Twitch. I mean, could you be more of a fucking loser? Seriously.
Yeah. Why bring up something that happened that long ago? Let's hear this again. Wait. So Darkside Phil is the bad guy for flipping out on a viewer who brings up something that happened years ago.
Inflammatory name. Just the DSP forums. When someone entered DSP's stream as he played Mortal Kombat 10, they successfully got him to lose his temper by bringing up the Leanna Kingdom Hearts incident, prompting Phil to spend the next few minutes just airing out his rage.
He's talking about something that happened 2 fucking years ago on Twitch.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. Wow.
I mean, could you be more of a fucking loser? Seriously. The reason this guy joined my match was to do that. Not to play the game, not to have fun. He ruins it for everyone. Delays. People who want to play have to wait now, right? Because we have to listen to this fucking idiot. I mean, what? Ladies and gentlemen, you have found the epitome of a loser on the internet.
The tirade alien...
Wait, that's the tirade? That's the Darkside Phil tirade? Is that the worst of it? If that's the worst of it, that was not a bad tirade. Darkside Phil needs to take some Ralph Mel classes on tirades. Okay? Dude, this is why, I know what, let me repeat what I said earlier. The Darkside Phil detractors, the ones that get really butthurt and angry at this guy and think he's the worst thing ever, are like totally weak sauce. They don't even know what the worst thing is ever because they're so focused on this guy. This guy's not even doing anything bad. He's just literally doing the thing that everyone else does. He plays games. He streams it. He's bad at it. Okay. He makes money off it. Okay. It's working for him. Okay. He has stupid giveaways. Yeah, he does. Okay. He's had some racist things in the past. Who hasn't? I mean, come on. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. This is nothing anywhere close to, like, other freaking locales who are, like, much more a disaster case. You know, there's oh. I don't. Okay, anyway, let's play some more.
Alienated vast swaths of his audience, and he apologized the very next day in a video on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, his meltdown
For once,
was tame.
this was an appropriate response, even if he was pressured into doing it. Every once in a while, Phil does seem to exhibit a sense of clarity. For example, some of his trolls doxed his new location back in the summer of 2014, which wasn't a very difficult task to do considering how careless DSP was about it. It took a long time for someone to do something with that information, but after 5 consecutive days...
I like how Turkey Tom just, the way he says that, so cavalier. Oh, he was doxxed. It didn't take that much time. It wasn't that difficult, you know, because DSP's own actions.
Every once in a while, Phil does seem to exhibit a sense of clarity. For example, some of his trolls doxed his new location back in the summer of 2014, which wasn't a very difficult task to do considering how careless DSP was about it. It took a long time for someone to do something with that information, but after 5 consecutive days of being DDoS attacked, someone tried to swat Phil, saying he either had or was in the process of murdering his girlfriend and her family. I don't have to...
Okay, thank you for letting me know that his trolls are legitly unhinged and crazy. Okay. Darkside Phil looking pretty good here.
Explain how absolutely unjustified and dangerous this was, but thankfully, Phil had already been in contact with the police because he predicted something like that would happen. Perhaps because something similar already had happened at some point, but that's just speculation. However, Phil took this...
Because another swatting thing that happened? Yeah, probably.
As an opportunity to conflate the people who tried to swat him and falsely accuse him with anyone and everyone who had ever made a "this is how you don't play" video or mocked him on the internet, saying that it was the negative vibe people created around him that almost cost him his life. As bad as swatting is, that's just a silly thing for him to do, especially in the relatively serious situation he found himself in at the time. Obviously, not every hater is responsible for the one nut job that decided to swat him. The noise surrounding his name was getting a tad...
Nah, but he's getting sick and tired of the haters and stuff. And dude, how you respond in a situation like that? That's an intense situation. Like in the heat of the moment, you're probably gonna say some fucked up shit back. You're gonna want to. You're gonna want to strike back, but you really can't because you know it's not gonna do anything. But stir the pot anymore. All right, so you're gonna think about it. You can try to be calm and collected. But you're still probably going to do the thing that you're not supposed to do. Which is bring it up. And make it a thing. I mean, dude, a lot of YouTubers and streamers do this stuff. Whenever they get swatted. They bring that shit up. They blame their trolls. Turkey Tom gets swatted. You did the same fucking shit. You did the same fucking shit. They'll bring it up.
Too loud for Phil's liking, but since he was too proud to start paying an editor and putting out decent content to quell the mutiny that the Kojima World Order had created, his strategy to deal with his detractors was to abuse the copyright privileges he had, in part due to being a member of Machinima, to
Alright, so he's just striking channels. Okay.
strike the channel of whoever was bad-mouthing him. Once again, Total Biscuit, This time, along with Slow Beef, popped up on Twitter to address what Phil was up to with the abusive copyright claims. Ironically, DSP was soon going to suffer the same fate he put many people through at this time, when DSPGaming began facing various copyright ID takedown notices due to his use of fan art in his...
What I think about this, lagging content is pretty gay. Is really, really gay. But these are the times we live in. I mean, it's true. It's true. It is really gay to flag people's content. But if he's gonna let you know he's gonna do that shit, you best believe it. So don't use his content. But like, oh, but he's using footage of the game. He doesn't have a copyright of it. Well, I mean, he's creating a stream with commentary on it. He's playing badly, so he's playing very creatively, probably. You know? And then you're using that content. It just becomes a copyright clusterfuck there. That's what it is. I'm not a lawyer, but you ask an internet lawyer worth any sort of, worth his weight. Probably tell you something like that.
Pre-streams.
By the way, hey, if you're liking right now, press that like button. And feel free to be generous. Be generous. Be nice. I have a Streamlabs link, I think.
The threat that this post to Phil's livelihood was so immense that drastic action will be taken. Hundreds of playthroughs that featured fan art were deleted and privated in order to prevent further strikes. Consequently, the accumulated views on DSP's channel dropped dramatically, which, according to Phil, lowered his ranking in the YouTube search engine. Not only was his personality pushing people away from his videos and streams, now his privileged spot in the eyes of the algorithm was going away, and the house of cards was very quickly collapsing. Again, this is not something I wish on anyone, not even someone as annoying as Phil. Having your livelihood ravaged is a terrible thing. However, the crux of the issue is despite having actively participated in bringing all of this upon himself, he simply wouldn't stop in blaming exclusively other people for the damage done to his channel. Additionally, he returned to directly asking,
you know, we made it here, and I heard this. I've read this sort of comment in my comments here. He brought it upon himself. I don't see it that way. Even from what you showed me here, it's like, what I'm getting is, okay, people don't like DarkSidePhil's actions, so they want to go after him. They don't like how he talks to the people in his comments section. I mean, the people telling him what to do with his content, they get their feelings hurt. People don't like the way he plays games. People don't like how mean his girlfriend is to them. People don't like how he snorts all the time and has an annoying laugh. Has a lame giveaways. Okay. People don't like that he's kind of an asshole. Okay. Like what? So he brings doxing. That warrants doxing now. That warrants like having your livelihood in jeopardy because some people have their feelings hurt because the streamer that they're watching was like, "Hey, I got tired of your crap." And then if you want to talk mess to him, he'll dish it back. Crybabies, man. Very sensitive crybabies, hall monitor mentality, weak sauce, soy boys, lame people, soft, like micro dicks. I don't know why I brought that up. Just pussies. Just pussies. The detractors are pussies. That's what's going on here. I've not heard a single thing, not a single thing that would make me think he's internet villain. I don't get it. Give it 10 more minutes.
asking his viewers for money, this time with a Patreon already set up, which, around this period of mid to late 2015, was making a little over $1,000 a month. Like he always did when it came to asking for money, he brought up the topics of his taxes and bills, saying he had to pay off his house. But it was clear to anyone with half a brain that Phil was not exactly living frugally. He had nothing resembling savings to subsist on, and actually depended on things like the hike in revenue in the latter half of the year to keep himself afloat through all of the debt he had incurred. None of which is explained to the viewer, of course, because that would reveal just how financially irresponsible Phil truly was. Due to the declining ad revenue,
the financial irresponsible thing, like, why would I care? Like, why are we supposed to care about that? Oh, because he uses viewers as an ATM. You show me a streamer who doesn't do that. I'll be waiting. I don't have time to wait on that.
Machinima once again renegotiated their contract with Phil and lowered his salary. Instead of looking inward to where he could improve on his content, he decided to strike out at people who watched his videos with an ad blocker, calling them thieves, among other things. Though he'd previously pledged to never...
So he was doing what YouTube is doing now. Telling people, hey, if you have ad blocks, you ain't watching my videos. He just beat YouTube to the punch. That's what's happening there. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. All right. I don't hate him for that. He's not an internet bad guy for doing that. Just telling you like it is. Hey, you have an ad block on? Don't watch my shit. I don't work for free. And that's his job, right? That's his livelihood, right? He's paying mortgage on this shit.
Never again ask for money online, saying he would rather get a different job than be an e-beggar. He presumably reconsidered this when he realized how good he actually had it in comparison to a real job, and he didn't want to lose his YouTube gig. He'd actually ridiculed the mere concept of asking people for money, saying he would feel morally bad to be in such a situation.
Everything is a tax write-off. I don't need money, I don't want that. That's ridiculous that I would have people be sending me money and stuff, and I'm still not asking for that, and I would actually morally feel bad if that were the case, if I were to have to do stuff like that, and I really hope that I never will.
Of course, there's nothing wrong with opening up a Patreon per se, but when you try to guilt trip people into paying for debts that you chose to incur, there's definitely a problem at hand. This wasn't the only instance of Phil eating his own words either.
What the fuck are we talking about? You could go load up Twitch right now and find a streamer who's doing the exact same fucking thing. I mean, they don't explicitly say it. Am I taking crazy pills over here? I don't know why I put that on the screen. I guess that's not going to work. I meant to do it like this. Boom. There you go. Now I'm grifting. Feel free to be generous. Be nice. So I can get some Jack in the Box tacos.
He spent years mocking any Let's Player who did Minecraft videos, going as far as to say it was only widely played because it was free.
The reason that people are playing Minecraft is because it is free. Guess what, Notch? You're a f***ing idiot.
Once Patreon time rolled around, he changed his tune to simply having missed the game and set it as one of the tiers. However, much like any of the other obligations Phil made to his patrons during this time, he would fail to fulfill the extent of what was promised, with him only playing 1 of 4 prospective Minecraft sessions due to low viewership.
Oh my
Another
God.
incident came when users...
He's an internet bad boy because he did not fulfill his Patreon promise. Oh, man. We gotta... I don't care about any of this weak soy stupid shit.
voted Persona 3 to be that month's Patreon game. After a 4-month
The people
playthrough,
complaining about this look fucking pathetic.
he reached the final boss, only to rage quit it and not finish, saying it was the worst designed boss fight he'd ever done. He only returned to Persona 3 later, though we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Another tier on the DSP Patreon was yet another reboot of Project 7, which he promised to do if he hit $1,250 a month. The goal was...
He promised, the goal was reached, he didn't do it.
met, and he took some time off of streaming to work on it. Just 2 weeks later, he indefinitely postponed production, saying to do Project 7 at that time would not make sense, all while refusing to refund the money donated for that specific purpose. It was
What the okay. There was a goal there. There was an attempt. He can't do it. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to do it. He found out he's not going to be able to do it. Okay. Sometimes it works out that way. Okay? Oh, give me my money back. Well, like you donated. We reached the goal there. I didn't make, not going to be able to do it. Like the money you lost through donations, was it that much for you? Or the detractors are like, oh, he needs to refund that money. Like, was it that much? If it was that important to you, you probably should not have donated. Honestly.
It was also around this time that Phil decided he would only fulfill his pledge obligations if the pledges surpassed the set goals by several $100s, supposedly to counteract the abundance of false pledges he was receiving on Patreon. In addition to this controversy, the prospect of another Project 7 reboot reignited whatever was left of Phil's deteriorating relationship with Howard and John, who at this point were very mad at Phil for a variety of reasons, including the fact he monetized a video he made talking about their mutual acquaintance, Scott. The entirety of their back and forth adds up to several hours, but the short of it was that ever since his move to Washington, there was no longer a real friendship between Phil, John, and Howard. Since this time, Phil has made clear on multiple occasions how he simply doesn't have the time to invest into friendships, instead sinking his time into his business, something that apparently continues to this day. Much later on, Phil recognized that during this time period, it wasn't just his professional life that was tumbling down, but also his personal life. His relationship with Leanna was deteriorating, and he'd completely lost touch with his best friends from his peak era, both of which are cited as some of the most negatively impactful moments of his life. He also recalls doing nothing but eating fast food and drinking to such an extreme point that he describes himself as being an alcoholic at the time. Pretty sad, and despite everything, you can't help but feel pretty bad for the guy.
Downward spiral. We got
DSP
5 minutes.
began 2016 with a three-pronged plan. On his main account, DSPGaming, he'd continue posting playthroughs like he always did, while his vlogs went to the King of Hate Vlog DSP, and his edited videos and montages were uploaded to a third account called KO Gaming. After a rough 2015 that introduced Phil to the consequences of behaving the way he did, he was angling to outwork his lack of manners and the audience of trolls he had attracted. It was supposed to be his year. Phil would finally become Himothy, until one foolish mistake sapped his momentum right at the very beginning. One of the ways he found to make up for his past shortcomings as a content creator was to return to Persona 3 to beat it, as he was supposed to do a long time before. However, just as his live stream for it was about to begin and the screen was set on a message informing people that it would start shortly, he mistakenly left his webcam on and visible to the viewers. In doing so, he exposed his audience to what appears to be his pre-stream preparation ritual, if we can
Is this the masturbation? Is this it? Is this like, I don't think we're getting the full story here. I thought what was happening here, there was like a gaming marathon, right? I thought it was like a marathon thing that was happening. I remember hearing about this, and it was like a marathon or something, and he was like tired or whatever, and he forgot that the camera was on. But either way, no matter how he frames it, what we're seeing is Darkside Phil just forgetting the camera was on and masturbating. Okay? I'm lucky it hasn't happened to me yet. This is like, why is he an internet bad boy for masturbating on camera? And who's an internet bad boy would be someone who's talking to minors, like Chris Tyson. Okay, like that. Chris Tyson is an internet bad boy or bad girl. Okay. Darkside Phil is like, oops, made a mistake.
call it that. I'm pretty sure I can't really show it on screen, even though it's not explicit per se, since you can't see it.
What kind of porn does Darkside Phil watch? I bet it's ass. It's ass, isn't it? It's big asses. Isn't it big asses? Is it anal gape? Darkside Phil watches anal gape. Or is it missionary? You know, actually, he probably is very, very conservative, very Christian. It's only missionary.
Any of it happening, but it's fairly obvious based on the fast-paced jerking motions and his facial expressions that DSP is cranking one out immediately prior to beginning a stream. As soon as he's very visibly done, the live stream starts and he says,
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh?
almost as if he was
This is funny.
knowingly nodding to those who had the displeasure of witnessing the whole thing. As far as live streams go, this comes close to the mother of all of them. It was covered by Keemstar of Drama Alert, and potentially, it's the single most well-known moment of DSP's career to this day, however ironic and depressing that may seem. Phil's first response to the situation was to simply ban anyone in stream chat that questioned him on what exactly he was up to during that.
Well, that makes sense. He's trying to calculate in his head, like, what's going to happen here? Am I going to get banned? Did they see my dick?
Pre-stream. Due to the stream only having 20 to 30 people on it at a time, and since a lot of people
R34 Nintendo? Oh, shit. Yeah, he probably does. It's not R34 Pokemon, though, is it? Nuh-uh. Better not be. Better not be.
watch live streams in the background while doing something else, like gaming, he probably thought this moment would simply sink into obscurity and be quickly forgotten about by those who had witnessed it. I wonder, in the hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours of DSP live streaming and unedited videos leading up to this, if that or something equivalent has happened before, and it just got lost, like tears in the rain. His next move was to berate those who suggested he was such a
and Jamie Jenkins, I'll admit, it is degenerate. We should not ever masturbate. You should just not do that. Just be good, okay? All right? You should not have to do that.
degenerate as to masturbate in front of his YouTube viewers publicly before proceeding to claim he was simply scratching his leg. I don't know one single human on earth that enjoys scratching their leg that much. And honestly, I feel like if he had just acknowledged what happened and made a joke out of it, it probably would have been pretty funny. He just couldn't do that.
Oh, no. What would happen is the detractors would go tell Twitch and YouTube and try to get him removed. That's what would happen. That's what would happen, man. 100%.
The hit to his ego was too big. After the immediate shock and embarrassment wore him down to the point where Phil felt comfortable in ceasing his reflexive lying, about a day later, he embraced it and admitted that he was, in fact, not just scratching his leg. Due to how thoroughly he welcomed the mockery this time around, some people thought that Phil either faked it or did it on purpose in order to get attention to his floundering career. However, as misdirected a person as Phil is...
Neither one. What really happened is... I'll tell you exactly what happened. When it first happened... He was like, "Oh shit, how bad is it?" Because he hadn't seen it yet, and I guarantee you, somewhere during that stream, I bet he was like looking at his own stream, like, let me see. Okay, my penis is not there. Okay, whoa, is it that small? But was there any audio? Oh, okay. And then the rest of the time, it was like, okay, when is the band hammer gonna fall? What's gonna happen? You know, there was a lot of that, and then he realized time passed. You know. All right, we're good. I can talk about it more open now.
I doubt this is the case.
That's all it is, just fear. A little bit of paranoia.
It's not only because it falls outside of the purview of the typical shenanigans he gets up to, but I honestly also think he lacks the imagination one needs to have that sort of move. It's too Andy Kaufman for good old Phil. There are way simpler and less risky ways to boost engagement besides public humiliation, and if we've learned anything, Phil loves to self-aggrandize, not the opposite. To be fair, despite how bad the incident in and of itself is, this is one of Phil's most competent bouts of dealing with backlash, as he just very quickly owned up to it within like a day or two. However, despite dealing with this flub minimally well, Phil couldn't look very optimistically towards the future of his career and was very much past his prime. On the 1st of May 2016, while streaming the new Pokemon game, Pokemon Moon, on Twitch, his fans would incur Phil's wrath as he lashed out at them.
Quite honestly, let me take a look, because I have not looked at stream.
Okay, let's hear this. This is Darkside Phil's wrath.
This would incur Phil's wrath as he lashed out at them.
Quite honestly, let me take a look, because I have not looked at stream numbers all day. My God, the stream numbers were terrible. Wow, what happened? Here's the bottom line, and I'm tired of it now. No more excuses, all right? Because the bottom line is people are like, Phil's not engaged in his commentary, and Phil's commentary is boring, and that's why people don't want to watch the playthroughs of the streams. Bullshit. I'm loving this game. I'm voice acting. I'm engaged. I'm commentating on everything that's going on actively. Bullshit.
Is he voice acting a Pokemon game? I could not even do that. Would not even.
I call
attempt.
massive bullshit on any idiot who says that about either the Watch Dogs 2, which I've been playing recently and really liking, or Pokemon. It's bullshit. I call complete and utter bullshit on anyone who's saying that I'm not engaged and I sound like I'm bored. I'm not. So I've had enough excuses. It just seems to me like people are fucking lazy and don't want to come out to the streams. I don't even know what else to say, you know?
There are few mistakes as
Imagine watching Darkside Phil to complain that you're watching Darkside Phil. It's like, bro, do you like to spend your time watching a dude you hate? Okay. Like why? Like, you might be the one that has the hatred in your heart. All right?
easy to avoid as openly complaining you don't get more viewers. And while it's not a particularly grave one, it shines a light on Phil's perennial state of mind. He isn't open to consider that his lack of popularity is due to the lack of quality of his content. Or better yet, the consequence of
I don't know how you increase the quality of just gaming streams.
His behavior as an online personality. Phil received backlash from his fan base, which was then compounded by other creators like Review Tech USA, who covered his little tantrum on
Review Tech actually lives at his parents' house. Review Tech is divorced, has a kid, knows nothing about tech. Like, he knows nothing about tech. You know, at least Darkside Phil is not trying to be a rapper. I want to hear what Turkey Tom has to say about Review Tech. Does he glaze Review Tech? Hear it.
Or better yet, the consequence of his behavior as an online personality. Phil received backlash from his fan base, which was then compounded by other creators like Review Tech USA, who covered his little tantrum on livestream. Phil apologized for calling his viewers lazy, but remained steadfast in his belief that the viewership drop-off has
we don't get any glazing. Okay.
nothing to do with the content itself. At this point in time, the How You Don't Play videos made with clips from Phil's content had completely eclipsed Phil's actual content as far as views and engagement, and Phil thought to capitalize on the community source content. He allowed other people to submit videos to be uploaded to the KO Gaming channel and promised to pay them with, you guessed it, exposure by having their channel's name.
Hey, he tells you exactly what it's going to be. Exposure. You either like it or you don't.
In the description. I have to make a small note here by saying that he still hasn't tried hiring an editor to work for him to help make his Let's Play content watchable. It's actually mesmerizing. Anyway, the success of posting community source content on KO Gaming was short-lived, as in 2016 the channel was demonetized for reasons unclear.
Okay, we're an hour in. We are an hour in, and I have not found a single reason why he is, in my opinion, the internet bad boy that they say he is. He's not an internet villain. They say he deserves what he gets, which I'm guessing includes like the doxing and I guess the harassment and whatever. I'll just call it that. I mean, people talk about Darkside Phil's wife a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I noticed that. There's even, like, forums, the Kiwi Farms, about his wife. Cat, right? Kate, Cat. And it's like, what does she have to do with anything? Okay. But because she was on stream a couple times? Or what? What the fuck? Okay. Like, watching an hour of this, I don't know if I could do more. I don't know. I don't think it can. What I've learned is that so far is that he's not the internet villain, internet bad guy they say he is. If anything, the detractors are like butthurt, annoying, hall monitors, thin-skinned, little deranged, fucking insane, miserable people who are like stuck on this guy. They don't like him, but they cling on to him as if their life depends on it. So, yeah. Well, we're going to wrap this stream up. No Jackbox tacos for me. Okay. You know what? If I actually had a diet and it was I eat based on whatever you guys donate, I would actually lose weight. It'd be great. Dude, that'd be awesome. Actually, no, what's going to happen is I don't have a job, so. All right. I'm still going to get those tacos. With that said, thanks for watching, you guys. It was cool hanging out. I'm going to if I talk to the wife, see if she's still up, you know. Bring you along with me. Record that. TMI. Yeah. They need DSP for views and content. If they didn't have DSP, they wouldn't have no views or content. Anyway, with that said, you guys take it easy and have a good one.